become a 1 because they had that kind of success in the playoffs. They'd
Exactly.
also be more than happy to give that away.
Not even talking about the conditionality and the graduation, is I think Charles's term from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been in the belief that I wasn't sure what was going on prior to the Jets folks jumping in their jet, flying across the country, having a dinner in Malibu, and then bouncing home. If, skepticize all you want. I have no problem with people skepticizing. I buy what Charles is selling. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's pretty dialed in. If they agreed to a 3 and a 1 for next year, and is prefaced as that was when they were flying out there, Jets got to pay up. That's what the Jets agreed to when they flew out there. It ain't on the Packers to worry about, well, you know Aaron Rodgers. Your coordinator knows Aaron Rodgers about as good as anybody. Nathaniel Hackett, you probably hired him for it.
Yeah.
Saleh talks to LaFleur. So I've changed my tune a little bit. I still believe the conditionality and that is what's going to, and a pick swap is going to get what puts this across the table. But I have been under the assumption that the Packers have asked for more. I think the Packers have set this out, and it sounds as if Woody Johnson has said, no. I'm a little skittish because Aaron was 90% retired.
Going into the darkness. Yeah.
Was 90% retired? Oh, I don't want to give that up. Well, I don't think the Packers give you permission to fly out on that plane if you don't have those, if you hadn't given them the parameters for what it was. So I now have more of an understanding of what happened, and I was always curious about that. And now I understand why Mark Murphy may have interjected and why Goody's standing strong. Now, do I think eventually you're going to come to a nice little compromise? I do. But I have swung back, and now I am much more on the Packers side of this because of that reporting that Charles gave yesterday.
So did he say that they had an agreement in place for a 3 and a 1 to get the right to go out to talk
Jesse,
to
you
them?
have the audio? Jess,
We've got the audio. We got it. Let's give it a listen.
Pregnant pause.
Had sort of trade parameters worked out, and then when Aaron went on Pat McAfee and said that I'm 90% retired, I was 90% retired when I went into the darkness retreat, I think it scared Woody. I think that was one of those things that scared him. And then from the broader perspective, he continues to look at these other teams that made big moves and were promised things by their general managers. Hey, this is going to put us over the top. We're going to be in contention immediately as soon as, again, going back to Denver, as soon as Russ walks through the door, we're going to be in contention, and then it completely went in the opposite direction. So I think that gives him a little bit of nervousness. And by the way, it doesn't help that the Jets know, like everyone else, next year you got 2 quarterbacks at the top of the draft that are going to be everybody you talk to that's involved in basically scouting right now or personnel will tell you that those guys are, Caleb Williams, Drake May are going to be superstars. And I think that's part of the nightmare scenario in Woody's mind is what if this ends up being a super high pick and all of a sudden it's not ours because catastrophe happened in 2023. We didn't protect ourselves.
So the first sentence he says is they sort of had trade parameters worked out. That's what he said there, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, you know me, I like the precision of words.
Yeah, my memory is not great, as you guys know. I distinctly, because my eyebrows furrowed and raised when Charles said, because I asked him
3 and a 1.
A 3 and a 1. Now, can you make an argument that a 2 and a conditional is close to a 3 and a 1? Something special about a 1. And I think Goody wants to feel like he's at least won some part of it.
Like he won by getting a 1.
Yes. So that was surprising to me yesterday.
So I saw a few people reference this story in response to all the attention that our conversation with Charles was getting. And it's a story that I have told many times because I was, in a rare occurrence, plugged in on a trade more than anyone else covering the team at the time. And that was the trade for Tony Gonzalez. For those of you that have not heard this story before, John Schneider, who later got in a little bit of trouble with Ted Thompson for having told me as much as he did, because while I never named him as the source, Ted obviously knew that he was the point person on the trade and that I was tight with John Schneider. The Packers are trying to acquire Tony Gonzalez from the Chiefs at the trade deadline of, what would that have been, Tausch? 07?
I think it was 06 or 07, yeah.
Yeah. And Carl Peterson, the general manager for the Chiefs, and John Schneider, one of the top lieutenants for Ted Thompson, agree verbally on a third-round pick for Tony Gonzalez. Now, we all know what happens to Tony Gonzalez's career, right? He ends up finishing that year because, as Packers fans well know, the trade doesn't happen. He goes on and gets traded, I think, for a second-round pick the following offseason to Atlanta, and he ends up playing 17 years in the league. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, has a great career, second half of his career in Atlanta, great player. The Packers thought they had an agreement for a third-round pick for Tony Gonzalez. And right before the trade deadline, Carl Peterson calls John Schneider and says, I can't do it for less than a second. Now, John Schneider is like, look, it's Tony Gonzalez. Let's do it. He's like, I got to talk to Ted. He goes to Ted, and Ted says, no, we had an agreement on a third-round pick. If they want to change the deal, we're not doing the deal. Now, we can sit here and argue, and you were on that team, and you went to the NFC Championship game in 07 with the roster that you had. Are you a different team with one of the greatest tight ends ever on your roster? Does he make a difference? Does he tilt the field? I think there's a chance he does. Does that make him worth a second-round pick? Depends if you're standing on principle or you're saying, look, I don't care what we have to give up. This guy would be huge for us. We got to do it, right? So now here we are, 16, 17 years later, whatever year that was. And, again, a team has, to the varying degree of their seriousness of commitment in this trade, it is not what they were talking about before the Jets flew to California. But that's also what happens in trades, right, Tausch? They go back and forth. People change. People get involved. In this case, the part that blew me away yesterday was that of all people to be reluctant about the trade, Woody Johnson, I almost called him Woody Harrelson again, Woody Johnson was at the NFL meetings talking about how anxious he was about the trade. But now I'm starting to think, well, he was anxious because he didn't want to give up a one for a guy that might only play 1 year and could get hurt, and that could end up being a top 10 pick next year or 2 years from now.
Jason, you're equating two completely opposite scenarios, though.
Why?
This is not because nobody called the Kansas City Chiefs and asked for permission to fly out. It wasn't preordained. Trades at the trade deadline, you're jockeying for position. You're saying, okay, well, Atlanta's willing to do this. I heard that's why these information brokers have value, is because they can call Schefter and say, well, what are you hearing Denver's offering?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, then we have to do this. Mm-hmm. That's why they get this information.
You're right.
So this scenario is not anything like that.
So you're saying
nothing like it.
That it's bad, it was bad faith. They should have been, you're saying they should be held to what they said they'd be willing to go, even if they didn't have a ironclad agreement on you can't talk to Rodgers unless you're giving us a 3 and a 1?
So here's the deal. I think if you're going and you call up Stacy Bruner and you say, boy, if this house on Oak Street ever comes up, and then Stacy Bruner calls you and he says, hey, the house is $350,000 on Oak Street. Write the offer right now. I have to tell you, you're not going to get a full inspection. The market's hot. You don't do this, you're not getting the house. Okay? Now, could there be mold? Could there be other things? You're waiving that right.
It's a
Okay,
good analogy
you're going to
so
waive
far.
the right. You're paying the $350. You're getting the house. Okay, but there could be a couple hiccups. You have to be willing to deal with it. So in this case, the Jets call and say, "Hey, Rodgers might be available, huh?" And Goody says, "You know what? This is a big deal here. Yeah, we finally have come to the decision as an organization we're going to move, and we're not letting anybody go out there unless you meet our demands. And if you do, you know who Aaron Rodgers is. You know that he's always wavering on retirement the last couple years. But if you do and you can convince him to play for you, here's what it's going to cost." Then you go out there, you have the meeting. By all accounts, it went great. And then you come back, and yeah, there might be a little mold. There might have been a little hail damage on the roof. You know what? You knew that. You understood that. You're giving us a 3 and a 1, or you ain't getting him. And things can change, obviously, but when you go ahead and you're the one seeking, and you call, and then you get permission within those parameters, yes, you need to fulfill. And if you don't, that is bad faith, in my opinion.
So what if they then walk away?
Okay.
If
So
you're
be
the
it.
if you're
Then
the
the
Packers,
Packers
you're
can
fine with that.
re-engage. The Packers can say, if you don't do that, no, I think that the best case scenario for everybody is getting this thing done with a two that's conditional. That's what I think is the best. But I understand the Packers side of this more now. If this reporting is accurate, and I don't have any reason to doubt it, I'd be very much more stubborn than I think I had let on about Goop, because I know they want to get rid of the 60. They don't want him around. There's numerous reasons. But they had an agreement in place. Just like if Jesse called Stacey Bruner back up. We had an agreement at the 350, and Becca said, well, I didn't know that there was mold all over the house. Well, you understood that there might have been some things. That's why it's going at 350 and not at 700, which it would have been last year.
Had
So
Jesse
that's the
and
give and the take
Becca-
of this.
Had Jesse and Becca signed the paperwork?
They gave a verbal agreement.
Okay. So my question, and again, I'm going to text Charles because I want to know, did they have an agreement? Did they actually have an agreement in place when they went to California that they would be reneging on now? Okay.
Does
Because
it change your mind? Did any of that change your mind yesterday that, yes, Green Bay should get a 1 because that's how they got permission to go fly out to see him? Did anything change your mind on that?
Well, it didn't, because I didn't interpret it that way. I interpreted it as they were in negotiations. That was what Joe Douglas was saying. You know, I'm thinking we could do a 3 and a 1, but I didn't feel like he was clear that that had been a predetermined, what word am I? Now this is me asking you for the word, a precondition for them to get permission to go talk to him. That I would like to clarify that. That is a very important to me clarification. Okay.
We'll give Jesse a chance. He'll get that audio because I firmly remember him saying, to my understanding, that is what was discussed before. We'll get a better window into that, and I'll tell you what, if you're buying a house. What?
I wanted to complete my thought first. What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to keep us on the clock, but
Since when are you focused on that?
Well, somebody has to be.
Yeah. I think that's an important differentiation there. I never got to answer your question because you started to talk about Pella, which we love. If there was a legit agreement, like you shook my hand, that does change my view. I'm agreeing with you. If it was still the process of conversation and there wasn't any real commitment there, I'm not sure it changes my mind much because, to quote the great movie Draft Day, we live in a different world than we lived in 60 seconds ago. And things do change in this process. What doesn't change is the high quality of Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
What a lineup. What a lineup Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin has. And leading off is their innovative and award-winning Easy Slide horizontal windows that reveal tons of natural light and great unobstructed views. And next up in the order, Pella's premium roll screens like magic. The screen just rolls out of sight when you close that window. And on deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door. Like any great utility player, they can be placed anywhere on the field with custom sizes and colors, and you can get 0% financing for 48 months when you complete your order by April 30th at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions do apply.
A very, very, very interesting question from Big Cat as it relates to this on the private talk and text line. I'll tell you the question he's asking, and we'll see how Tausch answers this. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's Jeff Levering for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. No one else does it like Scalzo and Brust.
You are a Hall of Fame at mocking others. I didn't think there was a third way you could go, and you just did it. In honor of Scalzo, no one rips other people better. There's no limit. I'll bet he could come up with number 4 if we gave him 5 minutes. 5 minutes? If you give him 30 seconds. Thank you, Homer.
Weekdays 4 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN. It's Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
The one other thing that I would say about this situation with the Titans in this potential trade, Mark Cuban wasn't wrong when he said that there are certain times where it makes sense for a team to tank. I know that's not what anybody in Tennessee wants to hear, but right now is one of those times. When you look at the landscape of the AFC, this is a good time to strip it all down, sell off the parts, get what you can get for guys like Derrick Henry, for a guy like Ryan Tannehill, get what you can get and reset your franchise. To me, that makes the most sense. You try to develop the young players by giving guys looks that ordinarily wouldn't get extended snaps. But that's what you do in this kind of season, given what's going on in your division, given what's going on in your conference. It's not the time to take a big swing and jump all the way from 11-3 to go for a boom or bust quarterback.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through June, purchase through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Attention, attention. More superheroes are needed. Current Electric is growing and hiring service and commercial electricians, solar panel installers, and customer service representatives. Current Electric offers 5-star tech experience with training, coaching, and support, along with competitive pay and benefits. Apply at currentelectricco.com/careers. That's currentelectricco.com/careers. Current Electric has been serving Milwaukee since 1983 and is an equal opportunity employer.
The World Eating Championship Burrito has arrived at Qdoba, featuring freshly grilled chicken, Qdoba's custom 3-cheese queso, hand-smashed guacamole, roasted tomato salsa, cilantro lime rice, and black beans. packed with flavor and featured in the first ever World Burrito Eating Championship. It's available for a limited time only, exclusively online at Qdoba.com or on the Qdoba app. It's the World Eating Championship Burrito. Available now at Qdoba.com and the Qdoba app until April 21st.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I feel like we're sleuthing. Sherlock Holmes.
I don't. There's no sleuthing. I was under the impression that they probably talked generalities.
Correct.
And what Charles said yesterday was very specific. That's what threw me off, and that's what, I guess, changed my mind a little bit.
All right, so let's hear your question and Charles's answer. Because, again, if you said, I'm thinking a 3 and a 1. Oh, okay, that sounds like it's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
400 points, 400 draft points.
Right.
If you want to get all nerdy and analytically, you say 400 points.
But if that's kind of what it was a little, kind of informal, then I think your position of holding them to that as if it was a firm offer is a little bit strong. So I want to hear how Charles, because Charles talked for a long time. So here is Tausch asking Charles.
I can see how you two are buddies. Tough to get a word in edgewise with you two.
Let me tell you about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, even if you're not done talking. Here is Tausch and Charles.
Clock's 9:20. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Here is Tausch asking Charles the question, and Charles giving him the answer.
Charles, before the Packers gave permission for the entire Jets brain trust to fly out there, were there not talks of what it was going to take to get Aaron? And is that changed, or was it just you guys go out there and then we'll figure it out? What were the parameters?
Yeah, absolutely. There were. I think there was. I think, from my understanding, I think it would have been a 3 and a 1. I think it could have been a 3 this year and a 1 next year straight up. And I think at that time, the thought process was, again, the Jets were looking at it as like a 2-year window. Aaron's going to come in, he's going to play 2 years. And it wasn't until, again, the whole McAfee show and the Darkness Retreat statement about the 90%, where all of a sudden I think that spooked Woody. I really do. And suddenly he was like, hey, if this is just a 1-year window, we're not giving up. I'm paraphrasing here, but my understanding, like Woody's entire stance on it was, we're not giving up a 1 for this.
Okay. How hard and fast do you interpret that to be? Because that's the question.
I interpret it pretty hard and fast. 3 and a 1.
I would love to ask Goody and Mark Murphy if they gave permission under the belief that if the Jets and Rodgers decided to move forward together, they would be getting a 3 and a 1.
Oh, go ahead and ask them.
I will, and they're not going to answer.
Yeah. But don't you, as someone who has looked at this from all perspectives,
and
Packer fan, like Johnny Packer fan, that it's all just about the Packers, is going to say, hold the line. It's got to be a 3 and a 1 because that's what you guys agreed to. There's always more nuance with things, but I wondered, it wasn't just, oh, go ahead and see if you can't talk Aaron into coming out of retirement when you go out there. It was, we want him. We're going to go out there. And the Packers say, well, for us to give you the okay, this is what we're looking for. And the Jets say, yeah, that's doable. I don't know that part of it.
Right.
But obviously the Packers felt like they had their needs met by giving them the okay to go. And it seems to me that the Jets were more than happy to give up a 1 if they're going to get Aaron Rodgers. That's what this conversation seems. Right. Not this year's, but next. And the fact that they think Aaron Rodgers is a stud and that they're going to win a bunch, they're just concerned now because, well, Russell Wilson stunk all year. Woody Johnson knows that.
He does. That's
he
what
knew
Charles
that was
said.
A disastrous trade before he went and talked to these guys to get permission. So that doesn't hold water to me. It doesn't. Now, the Rodgers retirement piece, that's fair. Hey, buyer beware.
BYOB.
Buyer beware. So there's all kinds of conspiracies that you can get off of this.
All right. So and the question that I'm asking you, though, is, well, there's two questions. One is, if that was hard, if you viewed that as hard and fast, I understand your position, and I agree with you.
Did you not? Did you not?
I don't know enough to know, and this is why nuance matters and stuff like this.
A 3 and a 1. He said it point blank.
Right.
A 3 and a 1.
Right, but is that a handshake agreement? Is it, this is what we're thinking? You just said yourself, the Jets respond with, quote, yeah, that's doable. When you say something's doable, you have not committed to it. So that's why I'm saying how important it is.
I'm not quoting myself here. Hey, I'm not going to quote myself.
Okay, what I'm saying is that we don't know how hard and fast the commitment was. And the other part of it is,
but Jason,
that's not where we live now. That's not where they're at.
That's fair. Jason, why I think this is how it played out is because why would Woody come out and say, I don't know if I can give a 1 if for somebody that's close to being retired? So there was a 1 that was thrown out there somewhere.
Well,
or
it's
he
being
would
thrown
come
out
back
now,
and say,
too.
Or he can't say, I can't give a 1 for a guy I don't even know if he's going to play. So that 1 was out there, and obviously that's your crown jewel to why he's going out there.
Right, and the 1 is still in the conversation. Now, it's a conditional. So, again, what I'm asking you is there not room for negotiation after they talk about what's doable to go to California? And I'm not taking anyone's side here. What I'm saying
kind of
is
taking the Jets side a little bit.
No, what I'm saying is now it's a 2 and a 1 potentially, which is even better than a 3 and a 1.
Yep.
So
yeah,
it does seem like they have moved too, and that their biggest, as we talked about and as Charles made very clear, the stumbling block now is, and look, this idea that I'm blaming Goody for not giving in, my point is I think the parameters as the Jets are offering them are reasonable. That is my opinion. But it's clear that both sides are dug in. One side saying, we're not giving up a flat-out 1, and the other side is saying, damn it, we're not trading this guy if you don't give us a flat-out 1. So I'm not blaming Goody. That's where things are. But I would say this. If I was involved, if I was the negotiator, if I was looking for compromise, I would be the Jets. You be Goody. Okay, let's role play.
Okay. Yep.
Goody.
Love role play.
Goody, I know you want a first-round pick. Flat out. I'm Joe Douglas. Woody's not letting me do it.
Can you call me Kuntz?
Hey, Kuntz. Here, little Kuntz. I got another offer for you, Kuntz. All right. Goody, we've known each other a long time. I'm not trying to screw you over here, but I got an owner, and you don't, and he's busting my you-know-what on this. He's not giving up a 1. So I want your quarterback. I want to do right by you. I want to do right by this team. How about this? Forget us making the AFC Championship game. We do a pick swap right now. I take 15.
Hey,
you take.
You say pick swap, I say in.
Yeah. You take 15. You take 13. We'll take 15. Then we'll give you 42 this year, the first of our 2 second-round picks we have. And then next year it's a 2 unless we make the playoffs. All we got to do is get in. And as that Mark Tauscher guy always says on ESPN Wisconsin, 7 teams in the conference, you can't make the playoffs? All we got to do is get in. We don't have to win a game. We don't have to reach the divisional round. We don't have to reach the AFC Championship game. All we got to do is qualify for the playoffs with your boy, and that becomes a 1. Do we have a deal? Goody.
Well, let me talk to my owner. He really wants a 1.
All 360,000 of them.
He's up wolfing down Jack Link's sausages right now. When he gets back, I'll have a discussion with him. But no, we want a 1. And you already told me when we gave you permission that you're giving us a 1. We're getting a 1. Now, if you want to push it to 2025, all right, great. But we're getting a 1 from you. And I'll talk to Mark, and Mark will tell us what we need to do.
Do you think that's what Goody would say? You think that's what he would say?
I think Goody has to get Mark's stamp of approval on this. Yeah, I do.
If you're Goody, are you taking my offer?
He's actively involved.
You kind of lost me on our role playing because I was hoping at the end I would have an answer from you.
It was
but
terrible
no,
role
the answer
playing
is
by
no.
Tausch, by the way.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
You guys, I think we all assume that Goody can just rubber stamp this and get it done, and I think Mark Murphy has made it pretty clear.
No, you're right.
Mark Murphy needs to sign off on it. So what do you want me to say about it? You brought Woody Johnson into the equation.
All right, I should have made you Mark Murphy because he makes all these decisions, even if he's wearing a paper hat at the Jack Slings factory. All right, listen. I want to get to Big Cat's question because it's really, really, really interesting. And he hates Aaron Rodgers, so that is a factor. Think about where he's coming from.
Do you know where Jack's Link is located? That's not a trivia question today, is it, Jesse?
It's not a trivia question today, and I don't know the answer.
It's in the northwest part of the state, which is not the same.
Minong. You can fact check me on that. I feel fairly confident it's up in Minong.
Northwest part
Hayward.
of the state.
And where's that?
Yep.
Which is
near Hayward.
Which is not what some of the cities that we were talking about yesterday were in, including Pierce County.
You can't just say everything in the northwest part of the state is near Hayward.
I just did.
I want to get to Big Cat's question. I think folks will be very, very, very interested in it, and we'll get to it next. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
To be able to breathe properly when you sleep is a profound change. To be able to sleep properly is probably the most important thing you can do for your health, period. End of sentence. In order to sleep properly, you have to be able to breathe properly. If you can't breathe properly, you aren't going to sleep properly. It sounds sort of like simple and like I'm talking to a first grader, but I'm simply saying that most people don't recognize how profoundly impacted their sleep is by their breathing issues until we fix it. And so if we fix somebody's nose, we fix their sinuses, we make sure that their throat is staying open when they're sleeping at night, their body is for the first time ever breathing properly and therefore sleeping properly. And you kind of forget like, oh, this was such a big deal for me before I got it fixed.
Breathe well with simple solutions at vetnose.com.
The NBA postseason is here.
And to Mitchell. Pow! With the right hand. Donovan Mitchell with a thunderous dunk.
On Saturday night, the Cavs open up their first-round series with the Knicks in Cleveland.
Barrett heads toward the basket. Now it goes left corner for Brunson from three. He's got it!
Catch tip-off right here on 94.5 ESPN at 5 o'clock Saturday. The NBA on ESPN Milwaukee is sponsored by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Since 1964, Ewald Automotive has been on a journey to make car buying easier for your family. So if you want an easy experience, head to Ewald's 59th anniversary sale. Ewald guarantees the lowest price and includes their exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on new vehicles. Plus, with live market pricing, you'll never overpay for a used car. Shop over 1,000 vehicles. Ewald's anniversary sale is going on now through month end.
Go to EwaldAuto.com.
That poor shotgun of yours. It only sees the light of day during a hunting trip or two each year. Don't you think that bad boy deserves to be fired year-round?
Bring it to Waukesha Gun Club, one of Wisconsin's largest shotgun-only clubs.
Their Sporting Clay League begins April 29th with trap leagues on May 13th.
Form a team with other friends of neglected shotguns or join a team of your own.
Waukesha Gun Club has over 98 acres and is the perfect place for business or family fun outings.
Learn more at waukeshagunclub.org.
This is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta for St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Are you looking for the perfect restaurant for your next night out? Make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, your next dinner destination. Specializing in artisanal American cuisine, Aria features carefully prepared seasonal entrees along with a robust selection of craft cocktails, wine, and local beer. New to Aria's menu is a family-style chicken dinner available every Sunday featuring the restaurant's famous Bro-Stish chicken served with sides like mashed potatoes, goat cheese biscuits, and more. Learn more and make reservations at Aria at stkatearts.com.
Today, more than 6 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's, and more than 11 million family members and friends serve as their caregivers. While researchers are working tirelessly to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia, the number of people living with Alzheimer's is expected to more than double by 2050. The toll of the disease is monumental, and its devastation affects family, friends, and especially caregivers. No one should face Alzheimer's and dementia by themselves. If you or someone you know is struggling to provide care to a loved one, please share this message. You are not alone. Free help and resources are available 24/7. To talk with an expert and obtain disease-related information, care and support services, call 800-272-3900 or visit the Alzheimer's Association website at alz.org. You are not alone.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I think this is a fascinating discussion. Like, there have been times during this saga where I've been, like, kind of tired of it. This is really intriguing to me. No doubt about it. I'm really intrigued. I think this is kind of a George Costanza, Jerry Seinfeld, George getting married. We had a pact. Stuck out your hand and I shook it. I don't know if it was a binding agreement, which is how you appear to be interpreting this. Fair?
I think that there was my guess, listening to Charles, is that the Packers were under the impression they were getting a first-round pick. That's what it was. And it's not a coincidence to me that that's what is being reported as the holdup. And if the Packers felt like they were going to get a 1 and then, whether they were going to talk the Jets into a 3, I don't know that. But a 1 was on the table from the New York Jets, and that's why the Packers are saying, no. Not, that's what we agreed to. We would have not let you fly out there, which, again, call the Jets bluff or call the Packers bluff on it because they still need to get Aaron Rodgers off their books. And the Jets seem to be the only one willing to take on 60 and give you 400 to 450 points of draft analytics.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I still think this thing will get done. But, yes, I do believe the Packers have a higher ground to stand on after I listened to what Charles had to say yesterday. I feel more in the Packers camp on, that's what was told to you. Wasn't in writing. That's the thing. So one of my lawyer buddies just texted me, said, hey, any real estate deal, verbal agreements aren't worth crap. Okay, yeah.
They're not worth the paper they're not printed on.
Amen. Got to be written. So as you mentioned with Schneider and Ted and the Kansas City Chiefs back in the day, deal ain't done till it's done. And I just had the sense when I heard Rodgers talking, way back in the day, that it was going to be the Jets was too easy. It's been too easy. It's not
That was
never
March 23rd.
Nothing is ever easy with Aaron Charles Rodgers. It's just not.
So let me ask you this. Because noted Aaron Rodgers hater, Big Cat, Josh DiMaggio, sends this missive to our private talk and text line. The 90% retired going into the darkness quote. Did Aaron say that on purpose to get them off the first-round pick?
Ooh.
And is that a factor in why the Packers are not coming off their price? It doesn't take many logical leaps for Goody and Murphy to think it was coordinated or part of the plan as they started talking.
I would not put. Listen,
I wouldn't put anything past him.
I never believed Aaron Rodgers was retiring. I didn't believe him when he said 90% retiring on McAfee. So while it's maybe unfair for me to feel that way, that's how I felt, and I think you felt, and I think most Packer fans felt, and I think Goody. I don't think Goody, after his exit interview, felt like he was going to retire. Take your time, blah, 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 think things through, blah, 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 but you had $60 million. You had a disappointing season. The competitor to him, I think everybody knew he was going to come back and play. Do I think that Aaron Rodgers would push a narrative to get an expected outcome? Yeah. I could see him completely. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more of, I don't know what y'all talk to the Packers about, but don't you dare be giving up 13. We need 13 to get this thing done, to get our team, our new team, in position to win. That's what I think.
And that would track with what Greeny said to Pat McAfee, I don't know, yesterday or 2 days ago, where he said that Rodgers has been trying to get them to pay as low a price as possible. There's no reason to rush. I'm not coming till May anyway. He wanted number 13 to stay in their possession so they could draft a tackle because their offensive line stinks and needs to be upgraded. Those are a lot of breadcrumbs, Hansel. They all lead to the possibility that Aaron Rodgers is involved.
So, Jason, if you polled this, and I know you won't, do you think that Aaron Rodgers threw a wrench into these trade plans by talking through with the Jets? Because do I think that the Jets and Packers, and according to Trey Wingo and Charles, had a basic agreement in place before they went out there if they got him? I do. Do I think Aaron Rodgers maybe said, no, 13, no. First round pick, no. Do I think that's possible? Yeah, I do.
I think it's possible too. I do, no doubt. He's kind of like Jesse when it comes to trivia. You know, he does that little thing with his fingers. Ooh. I can see that.
And by the way, I don't blame him. I understand why he wants to have his new team strong.
Right.
And
Best chance to win.
He doesn't like Goody. Why would he want to give Goody a win?
Correct.
I get it.
The only thing that I want to add to this before we put a bow on it is what your lawyer buddy texted you. Good faith, bad faith, whatever. If it wasn't in writing, it doesn't really matter. And where we are now is where we are now. And having had experience with a very angry John Schneider who thought, A, that Carl Peterson screwed him, and then B, I think thought that Ted should have just said, okay, fine, we'll give you a 2 if that's what you really want, because he really wanted Tony Gonzalez on the Packers roster. I understand emotions get involved here. And I'm sure Murphy and Goody are probably pissed. But again, we are where we are now.
Do you think Goody thinks A-Rod sabotaged that trade?
Do you think that Goody thinks that Aaron Rodgers is capable of being a saboteur? No doubt. Do I think he thinks that this was a deliberate act? I think he does. I think he assumes the worst when it comes to Aaron Rodgers at every turn at this point.
That makes this whole scenario, when you allow personal feelings to get in the way
of personnel,
it makes the whole thing a lot trickier. And I hope, and my guess is, cooler heads will prevail, because you're not doing anyone in their best interest by not figuring out a way to get this deal done. And the deal will get done, and it will get done whether it's pick swaps or conditionality on their picks. I think they're close enough that they can fight through the finish line. They might be spitting up a little bit when they get there. They're running that marathon. They're at, I think, mile 24, which is the hardest, because you still got 2.2 miles to
Heartbreak
go.
Ridge.
2.3, right? Is it 26.3 miles or 26.2?
26.2.
0.2. Yeah.
So you still got 2.1 to go, and ooh, baby, that's going to get you. But you'll get there. But it's going to be bloody. You're going to be chafing, and you're probably going to be spitting up a little bit.
Nipple chafing? Is that what you're thinking
Whoa,
there?
Nelly! You pick what chafing you want to be dealing with. I'm not going to.
Inner thighs. After you run a 26.3-mile marathon, you're probably going to be tired. And that would make it a great time to get a great night's sleep on a brand-new Beauty Rest mattress from Steinhafels. Beauty Rest mattresses are assembled in Wisconsin, and right now queens start at just $499. Or you can upgrade to the luxury and comfort of a Beauty Rest Black and get $200 back in Steinhafels cash. You can shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. I assume, Jesse, you've had a lot of text messages coming in.
Been in abundance.
We'll get to a few of those next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Looking for the best way to welcome new teammates or business partners to your team? Look no further. 3 Tree Marketing is a full-service branded merchandise agency using creative merchandising to share your company's story. Be the envy of others with specialized gifting and onboarding kits from 3 Tree, an amazing opportunity to best showcase what a brand is all about. Work with a team that thinks outside the box and becomes an extension of your team. See what else 3 Tree Marketing can do for your team and set an appointment today. 3treemarketing.com.
Just because the buzzer hits doesn't mean the game ends. Highlights.
Holiday back to Giannis, and Giannis will staple it through with a two-hand jam.
Reaction.
Bucks have been very good. So we're talking about 3 months now that the Bucks have been the best team in the league, and the Bucks and the Sixers have been the 2 best teams by a wide margin.
Your thoughts.
Take care of the glass. We need to do that, and we did it in the fourth quarter.
Nobody knows the Bucks like Justin Garcia. Catch Bucks Talk after every game right here on 94.5 ESPN.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
A wide array of opportunities abound at Waste Management.
During the whole pandemic, Waste Management didn't have us laid off. I didn't get pay cuts, all that, keeping all of our benefits the same. They'll pay for your bachelor's degree, they'll pay for my master's. Next year, they'll be willing to pay for my wife's master's and kids, and to show that they're really about putting their people first and growing the business within. That's incredible.
Join the Waste Management family. Just search online, Waste Management Careers.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Take me out to the ball game, roll out the barrel, and get up, get out of here, gone. There's nothing like Milwaukee baseball. The Brew Crew is back, and we're here to help you turn your tailgate or game viewing experience into a grand slam. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where since 1960 we have provided the best selection and the lowest prices. We stock literally thousands of varieties of beer, liquor, wine, and mixers. Over 15,000 actually. But who's counting? The point is, you want it, odds are we have it. Combine our incredible selection and everyday low prices with our 2 convenient locations, and you've got your one-stop shop for game day. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, only 10 minutes from AmFam Field, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
Did you know that when you make time to do 3 simple things each day with your children, talking, reading, and singing, you're helping to shape and strengthen their brains for the years to come? I love to look at the pictures in a book and notice little details about the characters. I pause along the way to ask my child to wonder about how they might feel. When you ask open-ended questions like, what do you notice? Or what do you think will happen next? You're inviting them to be curious. All these rich conversations help develop both their vocabularies and their thinking skills. And it's a great way for you and your child to bond and discover the world together. As a father, helping my child is the most important thing to me. Each of us has the power to create a strong start for our children by talking, reading, and singing with them from the moment they're born, and help them to enter school ready to learn and succeed in life. Visit talkingisteaching.org for free tips, resources, and ideas on how to transform everyday moments into magical moments for learning.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Lots of thoughts coming in via the Wilde Tausch Twitter feed and the talk and text line. Jesse, what do you got in terms of text messages on this? I don't want to say controversial, but I look, when Charles said what he did yesterday, it perked my interest, but it also, my ears perked up a little bit because I always thought that it would be Woody Johnson who would be the one who would say, give them whatever they want. I want Aaron Rodgers.
He still might.
And he still could.
Might.
He still could. But certainly to this
like
point, that has not been the case. What do you got on the text line, Jesse?
Nick in Wanakee, it is conveniently self-serving for the Jets to say the trade value should go down because of what Rodgers said on a podcast. At that point in time, Rodgers was in the Jets camp and wanted the Jets to fleece the Packers. So that's a bunch of BS coming from the Jets. Nick in Wanakee agreeing with the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, as a GM and president / owner, however you want to call it, you have to be able to trust the people you're doing business with. And when you do what, again, there's varying degrees of how you look at it. If that's what the agreement was and now you're backing away from it because of a podcast, I would hold tight too if I was Goody. I don't want to get bulldogged here, but I also have to do what's best for my organization, and you're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And D-Day, to me, is going to be next 2 Friday afternoons. Because that second-round pick will be Friday at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I think, is about the timing. That's when the rubber is going to hit the road. And we'll see if cooler heads prevail before that. But I won't be shocked if it goes right up until it, and then hopefully everybody kind of figures out, what the hell are we doing here?
Interesting that the phrasing there, though, because my follow-up question would be, did Rodgers not thoroughly discuss what his thought process was when they visited him? Like, did he not talk about how his retirement thought process was going? That hearing the 90% on the podcast came as a surprise to Woody Johnson and caused him to recalibrate what he was willing to give up for him? Like, Charles says in that clip that the Jets were operating under the assumption that it was a 2-year thing with Rodgers, right?
Yep.
Did he say, I'll give you 2 years? Again, this whole, you talked about it with Favre, you talk about it with all these players. When you start talking about retirement, you're already halfway there. So that would make me leery regardless, even before the 90% going into the darkness. And there's also the issue, which I think Josh is raising, if he really was 90% retiring when he went in the darkness, or if he's lying.
Yeah, we don't know that. And, yeah, I would think that when you're talking to Aaron about what his plans are, that would have come up, and Woody shouldn't have been shocked unless they were not having those discussions. And if you're not having those discussions, then how truthful are you being with your ownership, with your potential new ownership? It would make me pause if I was Woody Johnson too. But that's the deal. Like, you made a deal in order to be able to go out there and see him. Now, are you going to live up to it, or are you going to backtrack and try to do better? Business is business. It's cold blood. It's big boy business. Mm-hmm. But there are certain things in the NFL that you have to trust the other group on. And if you don't, it's going to be really hard to do business with other people.
Jesse, give me one more text.
Text from the 719 area code. Not familiar with that one. Packers, so you were talking earlier, Jason, about the draft pick or the potential trade that was in place for Tony Gonzalez years ago. Packers 2009 draft class after not trading a pick for Tony Gonzalez. B.J. Raji, round 1. Clay Matthews, round 1. T.J. Lang, round 4. Probably best they kept him.
So they obviously used those picks then to move up to take Clay, one of which was the 3rd-round pick that they got for Brett Favre. But they wouldn't have had a 2nd-round pick had they traded it away for Tony Gonzalez. So do they not get Clay Matthews? It's a good question. Again, I don't know. But in real time, does getting Tony Gonzalez in 2008 take you from 6-10 to 10-6? Probably not. It's an interesting thought, though.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk more Aaron Jones. We're gonna talk Aaron Jones. How about a little different Aaron conversation? We got to get to Chippewa Falls. So we'll get to that to kick off the 10 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde Tausch.
We got to get to Chippewa Falls.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When you're injured, call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 30 years and proudly partnering with Wilde Tausch. Miss any of the show? Find it with Wisconsin On Demand. Presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Even when you think you know what's going on.
Is that like a button, like a preset that just happens when you hit a certain age and all of a sudden you start making unnecessary noises?
You can never be too sure.
Yeah, I make them all the time. Well, like my wife, I have big lungs.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Takes time to get them filled with air.
How do you know your wife has big lungs?
Take a look.
Morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
This Bucs team is something special. There's unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat. All this action will have you on your feet cheering Fear the Deer. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Get your single-game tickets now at Bucs.com/playoffs.
It's our lowest prices of the season at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop unbeatable deals on the things you need for spring. Like $20 off 40-pound bags of Estate Sun to Shade Lawn Seed Mix. 36-pound bags of Estate Crabgrass Preventer, just $27.99. Rewards members get a free $10 Farm and Fleet gift card with $80 spent on Estate Fertilizer. And 40-pound bags of Blaine's brand wild bird food, just $15.99. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
Homer here. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now, and it begins with a change of pace. It begins with Aaron Jones.
Jonesy!
He's a hard guy not to like. He really is. I mean, I wrote about him for this morning's State Journal. And here's a guy who I actually believe when he says that he's happy he took a $5 million pay cut.
I do too.
I actually believe him, which I wouldn't normally.
Well, here's the deal. Normally, anytime a player is telling you they're happy to take a pay cut, they're lying.
Correct.
Because just like you would say, I am happy taking a pay cut because I just love working with Old T. Well, you like working with Old T, but you also like making some green, a little bread for the family, right?
Bread. Yeah, bread. Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones is smart in the fact that he signed that deal with Green Bay last year when he was going to go to the open market because his representation 2 years ago, his representation understood the market. And the market where you always want to sit and say, well, I want to be paid higher than Deshaun Watson if you're Lamar Jackson, or I want to be paid the top. Aaron Jones understood he's a really good running back, and he understood that these running backs aren't getting the Adrian Peterson contracts anymore. The league has looked at the running back position, and we're going to use you, and we're going to spit you out. And I think smartly he has built great loyalty amongst the fan base here.
No doubt.
And he can make a statement that is saying, I'm going to give up $5 million and take a pay cut, but then he spins it back and says, well, I'm making 11, and it's the most I've made, and I love this organization, and I want to win here. And I believe him because he wasn't going to make more money anywhere else.
Correct.
He is. I've always said this. Guys are more valuable to your team than they are to somebody else. And when those guys realize that and recognize it, instead of a wide receiver that is wanting to get the top dollar ever, and they're pushing and pushing, and then finally the organization that would have given you a very good contract decides to pull back and pull out of it, you end up going somewhere else. Yeah, you get a little sprinkler early, but your career's over way before it should be because you don't have that built-up trust. You don't have that.
Great, Jennings.
That's there's the differences. And I always want guys to go and get that bread. And if Aaron Jones could have gotten a $20 million guarantee from the Vikings or somebody else, you best believe his agent would have done it.
Godspeed.
But that's not what happened. So they wisely got in front of it, and here we are. Aaron Jones probably, this might be his last year in Green Bay. I don't know where his contract is structured, but he has carved out a really nice career and made a really good living in a position that is now draft young, use him up, and spit him out. And he is now going into, his 6th or 7th year, and he's making $11 million this year that he would not have probably gotten from somebody else. So kudos to all parties involved.
And he knew the market. He pointed out Christian McCaffrey making $12 million a year. So he's still the second highest paid running back this year. You'll hear him say that and more things in this clip of Rob Domofsky. I don't know if I'm in this clip or not. I asked a lot of questions of Aaron Jones. Maybe not this one, but I know Rob did about his pay cut. Here's Aaron Jones and Rob Domofsky.
Well, why was it important for you to redo the deal, your contract, and do it the way you did it?
Because I wanted to be here. This is home for me. Those guys in the locker room, those are my brothers. The people upstairs, they believe in me. They believe in me since I've gotten here. So that's been huge for me. It was just, like I said, it's home with best fans. And it just made sense on deal-wise. The market for the running backs was a huge gap between $16 million and Christian McCaffrey, who was at 12. So I wouldn't say a pay cut because I never made $11 million in my career. So this is still the most I've ever made, and it still has me at the second highest paid for the back. So it matched up with the market, and I didn't want to be greedy, and I'm a team player. I want to help the team and help get as many guys in here as we can. So if that means free up a little money, I will.
Sounds to me like we have to splice Wes Hodkowitz's little giggle there with Mark Murphy's guffaw.
Okay, so this is always the part, and I like that players are wise enough to understand PR, but if Aaron Jones could have gotten another $5 million out of Green Bay, he would have gotten it.
Correct. Yeah.
So, but I like he's playing the game, and I like that about Aaron Jones. The part that I really liked what he said there is he understood the market, and he understood that the Packers respect him enough that he has that conversation. And, yeah, he could say, I want to take a pay cut so that we can bring in more players, blah, blah, blah. No. If the market dictated he would have gotten $15 million, he would have taken $15 million, and he should.
From someone else,
but
if it had to be.
He wasn't dumb enough to push at a position where you are no longer being able to dictate what your value is to the same degree you could 10 years ago. This is one of those really smart win-wins for both parties because Aaron Jones, while I think he's been underutilized a little bit, he is going to need to be the leader of this offense moving forward as he helps Jordan Love kind of get hold of the reins of this group. Aaron Jones is a great leader. I think he is a really good team guy and a guy that gets the business side of this. So kudos to him on all that. He's saying all of the right things, and he deserves a lot of credit for how he's handled himself.
So what you're saying is he was smart enough not to cut off his nose to spite his face and go somewhere else.
Well, it would have been interesting had the Bears called and given him a 3-year deal
with $20 million guaranteed.
$25 million with $17 guaranteed.
Yeah.
And the Packers say, we'll give you 1 year at $11. Do I think he stays? Then that's a tough call. Probably go take the extra 6 because you don't know how much longer you have in the league. That's just the life of a running back. Ask Le'Veon Bell.
Ask Eddie Lacy, who's on the tailgate tour with Aaron Jones right now.
It's so difficult as a running back because Saquon Barkley's going through it. You as an organization want to get through their rookie deal, and then you want to go year to year and then rinse, lather, repeat because it's good business. You have not seen – I don't know any team that has given a monster second contract to a running back. And after that deal was done or after they let go of that player say, boy, was that a great plan.
Yeah, right? Even Christian McCaffrey, who had success in San Francisco, he was traded by the team that signed him to the very lucrative extension, the Carolina Panthers, who determined clearly that that was not a good decision. And they regretted that contract.
And he was injured. He got hurt.
Like the Cowboys. Cowboys regret the Zeke contract.
Yeah.
Right?
The Packers at this point don't regret the Aaron Jones piece of this because they've been able to manipulate and get the contract. They've been able to keep a core player. They've been able to keep a cap hit relatively low, and they're getting good production still from him. So that's all great. What will be interesting is what they do with A.J. Dillon moving forward because he also handles himself well. The Packers
last year of his contract
too. always going to go production. They're going to say what your potential moving forward is. But if all things are equal, they love guys like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon that do all of the great stuff off the field. That's when that little stuff does matter. When it's, well, let's just let him go. Well, we can keep him. It's going to be at a market rate or below market rate. But then you get to continue your career and get pension, get another year for pension and all the other stuff. A.J. Dillon, after this year, if he doesn't have a monster breakout year, going to be interesting decisions for him because the Packers are probably going to draft the tailback in this year's draft. And they should. They have to reset that clock, have somebody that's going to grow with Jordan Love too, because Aaron Jones, the days of paying Aaron Jones $11 to $13 million a year, I don't think there are going to be a lot more of those moving forward.
Aaron Jones talked about a lot of other aspects, including his time that he spent with Jordan Love. I wonder if after they got done with that workout, Tausch, they cracked open a couple of Coors Lights. The mountains were blue, and they just sat and thought about, hey, we're going to make a pretty good tandem back there. Even better than maybe I was with old boy.
I would bet if they didn't do that, I bet on that tailgate tour, they're up there with Mark, Jack, Linkson it away, having a little jerky.
We got to get the
goes
triple
great
off
with
walls.
jerky. It goes great with jerky. Coors Light, because it's brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged. So it is made to chill the mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans. They turn blue. I'm going golfing this afternoon. It's going to be 84 glorious degrees, and you best believe if I want to chill, I'll get one of those Blue Mountain silver cans with the just glistening, that cold Coors Light chilling me out. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
More from Aaron Jones next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. Guys, did you know that the stored belly fat reduces your free testosterone? The more the belly grows, the harder it is to drop, mostly because of the decrease in free T. It's a vicious cycle that men are losing, and unfortunately, everyone can see it. Mentality breaks that cycle with semaglutide, an industry-changing weight loss medication that can help you lose up to 15% of your body weight while preserving your testosterone. Join our over 20,000 clients to look and feel the way you deserve. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high-output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
A wide array of opportunities abound at Waste Management.
There's endless opportunities. Customer service. If you're in sales, you're able to have that one-on-one interaction with the customer, and you get to see how this impacts your local community. Sorting through the recycle, that's an entire position. Making sure that there isn't anything that's getting thrown out that could be damaging to the environment.
Join the Waste Management family. Just search online. Waste Management Careers.
That poor shotgun of yours. It only sees the light of day during a hunting trip or two each year. Don't you think that bad boy deserves to be fired year-round?
Bring it to Waukesha Gun Club, one of Wisconsin's largest shotgun-only clubs.
Their Sporting Clay League begins April 29th with trap leagues on May 13th.
Form a team with other friends of neglected shotguns or join a team of your own.
Waukesha Gun Club has over 98 acres and is the perfect place for business or family fun outings.
Learn more at waukeshagunclub.org.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, and we have laundry appliances that just fit. Fit your space, fit your needs, and fit your budget. Like a new Samsung laundry set with large capacity, so you spend less time doing laundry. And with sensor dry technology to automatically optimize time and temperature, you'll spend less energy on it too. Save up to $600 on this Samsung laundry set in-store and online during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Elevate your next dining experience at the Bridgewater Modern Grill, featuring a seasonally driven kitchen inspired by a custom oak-fed grill. You can expect to enjoy a menu filled with wood-fired flavors and classic comforts. With the longest riverfront patio in the city, add the Bridgewater to the top of your list for your weekday lunch, weekend brunch, or dinner out with friends. Visit the Bridgewater Modern Grill at 2011 South 1st Street in Milwaukee's Harbor District or BridgewaterMKE.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
To decide that the things that I tried were in my life just to get high on. When I sit alone, come get
Before we get to more Aaron Jones, just got a note. There will be no media availability on Monday for the first day of the offseason program.
Why not?
Now, look, I am not one of the beat writers who trashes the PR department at every turn. And I'm not going to do it now. I get it. You don't know what the hell's happening with Rodgers. You can't trot Jordan Love out there and force him to answer a bunch of questions from us about the uncertainty. Hey, they did it to Aaron Rodgers once upon a time when there was all kinds of uncertainty with Brett Favre. But at least Brett Favre retired in March of 2008. So the offseason program, we all operated like it was Aaron Rodgers' time.
Yeah.
And
well, you can put Matt LaFleur out there, though.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair. Totally fair. I'm saying.
Well, are they going to put somebody out there on Tuesday?
I don't know. All I know is there's not going to be anything Monday. And the coach is different than players. And I'll give this to Aaron Jones, who we're going to hear some more from in a minute, and Elton Jenkins. I thought they both handled it great. They both got a bunch of Aaron Rodgers-related questions. They're fine. They're big boys. They handled it. But I have no problem at all with not putting Jordan Love out there. I have no problem with that. None.
No, I totally agree, but that doesn't mean you can't put some people out there, and including the head coach. I think Matt LaFleur has really flown under the radar here. This is, he's being the spotlight is on Matt LaFleur in a big way, along with Goody as well. When you make this decision, you are tested, and I know we always talked about this from Coach of the Year and all of the other stuff. The burden that comes with having a great quarterback is that you don't get all of the credit.
Right.
You didn't get over the hump. You didn't do all this. Well, that's all over now. Now it's, do you know what the hell you're doing? Are you good? You're going to be tested in ways, and it's now more on you to develop Jordan Love. So I would love for Matt LaFleur to come out and just be glowing in what his thoughts are on this season, how he feels about David Bakhtiari's comments. I would be fascinated. Matt LaFleur, that's the part of a job as a head coach, too, is to get out and talk about what you expect for your football team. And, okay, it's not Monday. Let everybody get their physicals, do all that stuff. If they have something middle of the week, that's fine, too. You don't have to, overreact to anything, but they felt like they had to put something out there now just to make sure everybody knows, and that obviously is going to irritate the press corps. But absolutely agree with you. Jordan Love, go to work, do your thing. We don't need to hear different ways. Let this situation resolve itself. But I was told that there's no distractions. That it doesn't matter to the Packers that this isn't done. I was told that none of that matters. So I'll be fascinated if Aaron Rodgers is there and Aaron's like, yeah, I'll do a presser. Let's go. I'm assuming Green Bay doesn't want that either. Not that is going to happen.
I'll meet you at the Rush Center in front of the Bart Starr statue.
Come on over to the trio. Yeah.
What's the chicken place that's sponsoring the off-season program up in Green Bay?
Is there a Kenny Rogers chicken joint up there?
Popeyes. We got a Popeyes. We're getting a Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A will crush it up there. Like it
All
does
right.
everywhere.
So Jesse, you don't have any. You're not calling Jordan Love a chicken.
No, they continue to baby Jordan Love, so we could bring out the baby for Jordan Love maybe, but chicken, no. I don't think he's a chicken. I think Packers PR is being a little bit of a chicken right now. Matt LaFleur, big-time chicken.
Tough talk from the big fella.
Goody, big-time chicken. Get on up there.
Well,
who cares if he's here? You've made your decisions. It's all been said. Mark Murphy ain't no chicken. He'll tell you anything.
No, that's actually completely false. Did you listen to the things he said when he wasn't saying, we got to get to Chippewa Falls?
We got to get to Chippewa Falls.
Aaron Jones talked to us earlier this week as they departed on the tailgate tour. And among the things he talked about with Rob Domofsky and myself and Wes Hodkowitz and the rest of the press corps was this off-season. Here's some more of our Q&A session with Aaron Jones.
And you worked out with Jordan for...
Yes, sir. I went up there for a day and worked out with Jordan. Went out to California right after the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. Just flew out to California. Got to work with him and the quarterback coach, Steve Calhoun. He also works for receivers. So I've been already wanting to work with him and just kind of getting into just work naturally where I got to work with him and Jordan. And I actually known him, Jordan's quarterback coach, since I was in college. His son played with me in college, and who plays for the Dolphins, Nick Needham. So we have a great relationship there as well. So just great to get that work in and learn some stuff out on the perimeter out wide.
What was Jordan's mood, mindset like?
Jordan, he was comfortable, throwing the ball with swag. He knows where he wants to be, and he's going to keep working to get there.
Aaron, why was that important for you to do that, in addition to that quarterback coach, but to spend that time with him?
Definitely, we don't know. We don't know what's going to be the future here, but I think that's who's going to be the quarterback. And even if it wasn't, he's still a quarterback on the roster. So I'd like to work with my quarterback. So just continue to get those reps in because I know at some point he's gonna have to take those snaps. So just getting that connection down, and that's everything.
Who else was out? Anybody else out there? Just
I know Romeo Dobbs I was the only one out there at the time, but I know Romeo Dobbs works out with him consistently. They're in the same area, so he did tell me that. And I've seen Romeo on video. And then I think Christian. I'm not sure if he made his way out there, but I know he was planning to go out there as well.
I think he's going to be the quarterback. We don't really know. Fair. We don't know for certain, but more than likely that's the case.
He flying out to do workouts with Danny Etling, too. He's a quarterback on the roster.
It is true. Yeah. Look, Aaron. I like Aaron Jones. I thought it was cool that he went and did that. I don't know what one day of working out with Jordan Love does from a football perspective, but I would say, Tausch, that as a teammate and going there and spending time with him and showing support for him, that's more than just a show. The actual playing catch in the park, but I would think that there was some value in that, especially for Jordan, who is the one who's in limbo, that the star running back came and spent a day with him.
It's about building relationships and understanding that you need these folks to play at a high level for you. It's selfish, but it's the most unselfish thing you can do, too. And you think that's doublespeak, but it's not. Selfishly, you want your team to be good, because that gives you a chance individually to have all of the success that you could possibly want professionally. And the way to do that is by being unselfish, to give up 2 or 3 days of your off season to fly out and go to some park that's got other stuff, dogs running around and everything else, but it shows Jordan that you believe in him and that you want him to be successful. It shows him that you care. It's just like if you have something happen to you, whether it's a family member or something that happens, just getting a note, or it doesn't need to be some great gesture. Just to let somebody know that you're thinking about them, you don't think that helps build a relationship? It does.
No doubt.
And these little things make a big difference. So I'm sure Jordan Love, a lot of stuff swirling around in his head. He's talking to Goody, he's talking to LaFleur, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And to get the new leader of your football team to come out and express and show his support for you, you don't think that means a whole heck of a lot to Jordan Love? You don't get sports.
Means a lot more than the left tackle saying that you're rebuilding. Right? I mean, I'm sure Jordan heard that too, and we're not going to be very good, and you might as well pay Aaron the money anyway and let him sit because it's not like we're a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, and I saw some things on social media yesterday. And listen, I like David Bakhtiari. I think he's going to go down. Had he not gotten hurt, I think he had a great chance to be the greatest offensive tackle in the history of the Packers. I think he's still going to be right up there. His pedigree and what he's been able to do has been top-notch. But you can say, well, I was talking to my buddies. I was doing this. I saw him, tweeting. I think it was, what was it, Bussin' with the Boys? Mm-hmm. Those are his buddies. Yeah, I get it. Have fun. It's the off season. You go have conversations. But I think David would admit that from a look for the organization and the team, it just wasn't a good look. That's all. He has every right to say whatever he wants, but that is not the same. That's the opposite of what Aaron Jones did here. Now, that doesn't mean David's not going to come in. He's going to work. He's going to do his thing. Aaron Jones showed a lot by doing that, now talking about it, and trying to maneuver through this. Again, it goes back to, well, the Packers don't care if Aaron Rodgers shows up. They've already admitted that Jordan Love is your quarterback. Listen to what Aaron Jones said there. He had to backtrack. I think he's going to be the quarterback.
Right.
And if y'all don't think that that's something that the organization has to take into account, I Winston Moss ya. I can't help you. It does matter. I don't know why people don't want to accept the fact that they don't want Aaron Rodgers not being up there is going to be good for your organization since you've made that move from a standpoint of helping Jordan Love. Because Aaron Jones saying that, what do you think the guys that don't have his contract and his swag, they're not going to have a clue what to say. And you know what? Wilde and Domofsky and Hodkowitz, they're not going to stop, well, Wes might, but they're not going to stop asking questions about Aaron Rodgers. And that is a distraction. And it's energy and emotion you're spending that you don't need to spend. You want to be spending it on growth with your new quarterback. And when you're not doing that, you're taking away something. It's pretty simple math. So I don't want to hear this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. It does. I tried to tell you it does. Aaron Jones just told you it does.
Yeah.
Listen to him. You don't have to listen to me. Listen to Aaron Jones. And I'm guessing Elton Jenkins, when we hear some of his audio, there will be some of that same indecisiveness and things that he had to say too.
And it goes for the quarterback to other players too. And so all that criticism for the guy that never criticizes Rodgers or is on Rodgers' side during this trade, which neither one is true. This is the kind of stuff, the small little stuff that Aaron Rodgers could have done last offseason with the young guys. This is it. This is the kind of stuff, and it does matter, and it does have value. He may not have thought so, but I still believe that if he does those things, we're not where we are today. And I might be wrong, But I'm not as sold when you think back to what Matt LaFleur said at the NFL meetings and how he intentionally tamped down expectations for Jordan Love. I think, and Charles talked about this yesterday too, Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports. You can get the entirety of that conversation on Wisconsin On Demand, presented by Grubel Offices, one call, that's all. They want that one so they have options next year if they want to go up. If they have a really bad year and they have a 1 and their own really high one, if they want to try and go up and get one of those 2 quarterbacks that are going to be in next year's draft class, that tells you that they're not exactly 100% sold on Jordan Love potentially. Now, again, that's Charles's theory. That's not, Goody has not come out and said, yeah, I don't think the guy's going to be any good. He said the exact opposite. But there is the possibility that he's not going to be good. And if Aaron Rodgers does all these little things a year ago and doesn't throw people under the bus and doesn't act like a doorknob at times, there's a chance that they would have rather had him this year still. Little things do matter. And I applaud Aaron Jones for doing those little things. We'll hear more from Aaron Jones next. Tausch wants to tell you first, though, about Kohler Services, which they do all the little things and the big things right.
Yeah, and we discussed yesterday, bathroom door open, bathroom door. What we can all agree on is if you're looking for a new shower, Kohler Services is the group you need to go to. A local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years, and you think quality. You think luxury. You think premium brands in Wisconsin. Kohler is at the top of that list and is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower this year with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com today to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you over. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
More from Aaron Jones. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, are you ready for a new shower? If you are, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for over 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
This Bucks team is something special. There's unbelievable once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Fear the deer. Keep up with all the postseason action at bucks.com/playoffs. That's bucks.com/playoffs.
It's Jeff Levering for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And you know, there's more to being a local Wisconsin bank than perfectly pronouncing Oconomowoc or Waukesha. Or is it Waukesha? But rest assured, at Great Midwest Bank, we understand the local community and economy because we're a part of it. At GMB, we provide customized lending products that others just can't offer. Experience a hometown banking difference. Head to greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
I'm with the Associate Director of Hunger Task Force, Matt King. Matt, tell me about your organization's mission.
We operate a food bank that provides healthy food absolutely free of charge to people across Wisconsin.
And as your local office technology partner, James Imaging Systems is there to assist you and your organization.
Absolutely, it's really important to work with other local businesses that give back to the community.
I imagine operating a statewide food bank requires the help of a lot of special people.
We actually rely on the help of over 15,000 community volunteers every year.
That's a lot of good people doing a lot of good work.
People can get involved in whatever way feels most comfortable to them. They can give their time, they can give their funds, and they can give their voice.
And for those interested in helping, what's the first step?
People can go to our website at www.hungertaskforce.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Homer, Tony, living in perfect harmony. Yeah, right.
You want Mark Murphy actively involved?
Yes. I think if you had an owner, he'd be involved. I don't trust Goody on his own to get it done. Goody needs some supervision. I don't trust him to be in there alone making the decision.
My answer is, I hired you to run the football. Do what you want.
No.
Just keep me informed.
Hell no.
Listen to Homer and Tony weekdays from 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN and wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
A little more of our conversation with Aaron Jones as the tailgate tour prepared to depart. Tausch, before you hear this exchange where I ask Aaron about the uncertainty of the quarterback position, do you think anyone actually feels uncertainty of the quarterback position? Like, forget about David Bakhtiari on Barstool saying they could bring Rodgers back and pay him not to play, et cetera, et cetera. Don't you think they all are of the belief that Jordan's the guy and there's no turning back? Or do you think there are seeds of doubt for the players as they get ready to report on Monday for the offseason program?
No, I don't think that at this point there aren't. But I think if you get past the draft and nothing happens, because I can only speak to my own experiences on this, and
that's why I asked.
Favre retires. We all were still, oh, okay, but it was Aaron Rodgers, yeah, let's go. Whole offseason, it was Rodgers running the show, having us over for ping pong and dinners and all the other stuff, and it was humming along, and you started smelling and getting a little wind about the end of June. And I remember Al Harris, I think, sent me a text about, I don't know if Farvey had said he had an itch to play. I think it was an itch that needed to be scratched. And
on Letterman.
All of a sudden then I'm talking to other teammates, and we're like, wow, what the heck is going on here? And so there's always until, as I told you, when we were out playing cribbage in St. Norbert's middle area, they had the little picnic tables right in the middle of all the dorm rooms, and it's me and Rodgers and I think Kuhn and Corey Hall playing cribbage. And word comes down that the Packers had finally traded Brett Favre. It was like, whoa. And when that happens, then you know. So there's always, you believe it, you're rolling with your guys, but until that deal is done, you still kind of think, especially as a veteran, well, what if he does come back in? And then he does actually come back in. You're like, what the hell's going on? And then you have to use all that energy of talking through and all the meetings and all the other stuff. But when it's finally done, you can legit move on. You move on, but there's always that little seed of doubt, like, what are they going to do if? And then when old boy came in, That if came right to your doorstep.
Give me a little dazzling detail, if you don't mind. What exactly happened when you guys heard the trade had been made and your cribbage game had been interrupted by Brett Favre to the Jets? How did everyone at the table react? How did you react?
I actually think I was yelling at Rodgers about lumber hauling because I thought he took too many points on a 15-2. I just remember, and again, I don't the exact details. I tried to give you that with the open spaces and the cribbage.
I understand.
I think there was a sense of relief. I think especially from everybody involved, and I'm sure Aaron. It's not like I'm going to sit here and tell you. He said, "Thank God this is finally," because that didn't happen.
Get out of here, Grandpa.
But I think there was the. Now let's go back. I'm going to whoop your tail.
So you finished the game,
but you
finished the cribbage game.
But it was just there was a pause in the game and a woo. Okay.
I hate
that's. Go ahead, Jeff.
Card games outside would kind of stink. Like if you're trying when it blows any kind of
all that. That's what you took from that story?
I'd much rather play cribbage inside.
It's not inside though. There's an open area that had like a picnic table, a couple picnic tables, and I don't think actually it might be an open area. Yeah, if it's super windy, but there's dorm rooms that went up, so you're not getting the side wind. It would only be the over the top wind. So the only reason playing cards outside. Doing anything outside wins over doing it inside.
No, not at all.
But the wind messing with your cards is the only downside. If it is a still day and you could go out at the Union Terrace or you could go out to a great patio spot in Milwaukee, you're going to go out and play outside. The beers taste better. The cards just fly better. Disagree completely with you.
Give me the kitchen table. If you're playing on a picnic blanket, you're all hunched over, all funny. Your butt hurts.
You're not playing on a picnic
The tables
blanket.
are dirty.
You're
when
on
you're
a
sitting
table.
outside. You got bird poop
butt
and
hurts?
old rain. Yeah.
There are bird poop scenarios you have to play to. I'll give you that. But you're not. I'm not saying sit on the ground. You're on a table.
Yeah, I would much rather sit at the kitchen table or whatever, dining room table, than on a park bench. I hate sitting on a park bench.
Nobody's playing cards on a park bench.
You have to be
Playing
at
on
a picnic table. Where would you throw the
can't play
cards if you're
cards
sitting on a
park bench?
Yeah, what are you sitting on at a...
What are you, Forrest Gump? He's sitting there with that old lady.
Oh,
He's sitting
you're
there trying to play finesse.
Played by Robert De Niro.
I'm not
Handing the
calling
cards, buses flying by. Like, what are you
That's
talking
not a
about?
park bench. I mean a...
Pigeons flying by and you're battling them. You're not playing at a park bench.
A picnic table is also uncomfortable. You got the bars that you got to watch where there's only like one good seat at a picnic table. You got to straddle the bar underneath. It stinks. I hate playing games outside.
Can we hear more from Aaron Jones now, or is it too late now?
Let's hear. I want to hear more from him.
Okay. Here's Aaron Jones on the uncomfortability of picnic tables.
As you mentioned, we're kind of uncertain on what's going to happen when. How are you processing that and kind of handling that, the uncertainty?
Always what I've done, control the controllables, do what I can control, and that's work on my game and continue to evolve and help whoever's back there at quarterback when the time comes. And the way I can do that is just continue to put in work and make sure I'm on top of my game.
One of the things you can control is being a good teammate, which you've always been. How can you help Jordan go through this process?
I feel like confidence, just helping him along the way. Things may happen that might not go his way, and letting him know, hey, you got guys in your corner. No matter what happens, we're going to play for you. And I think if he knows that, it's just going to help him that much more.
Do you and AJ take an approach this offseason thinking we're going to have a young quarterback, we're probably going to have to shoulder even more of the load than we have in the past, and does that affect how you prepare for the season?
No, sir, not really how it affects. I prepare every time the same way. So, whenever my number's called, I'm excited and I'm ready for it. So that means me seeing the ball more than I'm here for it. But however I can just help this team win and, get to the ultimate goal.
Always calling me sir. I hate that. I know he's very respectful. He grew up in a military home. His dad was a great guy. But sir always makes me feel really
I ain't gonna lie to you. I want you to start calling me sir.
Yeah. Can I do it in the voice you like to do? Yes, sir. Is that respectful enough for you?
I think again, you heard more uncertainty. Whoever's back there, little things don't make a big difference, but as we all know in life, those little things add up into being big things. But Aaron Jones is going to be a captain, and he's going to be the leader on that offensive group this year. And I think you're seeing that. I think he understands that. And they're going to lean on this running game and Matt LaFleur's creativity a lot more than they did with Aaron Rodgers. How that's going to play out, we all hope that it's going to be a raging success. It's going to look more like the Kyle Shanahan offense that he had with Kyle Purdy, because it is quarterback. What did Rodgers say? It's quarterback idiot-proof, or how did he say that?
It is an idiot-proof offense. So whether you're Brock Purdy or Trey Lance or Jimmy G or Aaron Rodgers.
Or Kyle Purdy.
It should be very easy to operate. And then Aaron Rodgers obviously is the one who makes it more complicated.
So that's what we're leaning on, and I think Aaron Jones and Dylan and everybody up there, you're going to see a closer to 50-50 split running the football this year than you have in the past. That is going to have to be the formula for this offense to grow and then to get the big plays down the field like we've seen with Christian Watson. That, to me, as we sit here now pre-draft, that's what this is going to look like in 2023.
Let's play some trivia. Jesse, what do you got for
I
a
play
category?
today, or what are we doing?
We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
We're doing it again.
Where is Pierce County?
Northern Wisconsin geography, round 2. Tausch, are you playing or are you asking today?
Augmenting.
Well, am I available to play? You know how much I enjoy playing. So if I can, I'd like to play.
Well, you played yesterday, but all you did was just say, yep, after the correct answer was said by the contestant.
Okay, I'll do that again. Okay. That was really fun. I want to do that.
I'm happy to read all the questions. All right, caller 5. Right now, caller 5, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 5 right now to play borderline Northern Wisconsin trivia. I also got a question afterward, by the way. We gave the contestant the point. Where exactly is Iron Mountain, Wisconsin? I said at the time, I've heard of Iron Mountain, Michigan. I've never heard of Iron Mountain, Wisconsin. Are we 100% sure there is such a place called Iron Mountain, Wisconsin?
Whoa, Nelly!
That sounds like an admission of guilt right there from Jesse Nelson.
Might have meant Ironwood.
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
We're good today, though.
I don't know how you have to. It almost feels like he's sabotaging trivia because it's too much work for him. That's what I'm starting to think.
Like he wants to be so bad at it that we take the job away from him and give to somebody else?
He wants to Leon it. He wants to Leon it, is what he's looking to do.
Ironwood, not Iron Mountain. Oh, my goodness. And who hit that big shot in the Final Four?
Michael Jordan, I believe.
Indeed. All right, caller 5 right now, 844-770-3776. We may have the correct answers, we may not, but we will play trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increase cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
The World Eating Championship Burrito has arrived at Qdoba, featuring freshly grilled chicken, Qdoba's custom 3-cheese queso, hand-smashed guacamole, roasted tomato salsa, cilantro lime rice, and black beans. packed with flavor and featured in the first ever World Burrito Eating Championship. It's available for a limited time only, exclusively online at Qdoba.com or on the Qdoba app. It's the World Eating Championship Burrito. Available now at Qdoba.com and the Qdoba app until April 21st.
It's our lowest prices of the season at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop unbeatable deals on the things you need for spring. Like assorted bags of Timberline mulch, 4 for $12. 5-quart jugs of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil, only $22.99 after $10 mail-in rebate. Your choice of CRC Pro Series brake part cleaners, just $5.99. And for rewards members, all Skechers footwear is buy one, get one half price. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spring deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
The Brewers lost their first series of the season, falling 7-3 to the Diamondbacks to drop 2 out of 3 in Arizona. The Crew had no shortage of base runners on the afternoon, tallying 11 total hits to go with 3 walks. However, unlike the D-backs, the Brewers could never get the big hit with runners on.
I mean, they hit the home run with men on base. That's probably what hurt more than anything. You know, they got 2 men on base, and then they got 3 runs with 1 swing of the bat. You know, that's a function of some traffic for a couple of innings in Jansen. But, you know, he pitched well, and the home run came at the wrong spot. Good hitter, got a first pitch breaking ball, and put a good swing on it.
Manager Craig Counsell. The Brewers stay out west, open up a 4-game weekend series against the San Diego Padres and old friend Josh Hader.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, and we have laundry appliances that just fit. Fit your space, fit your needs, and fit your budget. Like a new Samsung laundry set with large capacity, so you spend less time doing laundry. And with sensor dry technology to automatically optimize time and temperature, you'll spend less energy on it too. Save up to $600 on this Samsung laundry set in-store and online during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
At Evans Transportation, they love the sound of Milwaukee baseball. Bats cracking, crowds cheering, brats grilling. And Evans is a big fan of manufacturing runs, both on the diamond and in supply chain management. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, they come to Evans. Because just like in baseball, teams who know how to manufacture runs have the best chance of long-term success. Good luck to the Brew Crew from Evans and Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
And if you want me, girl, you got me. There's nothing I wouldn't do just to get up next to you. Girl, you the one I want to move it. And if you want.
All right, hold on a second here, Rob Vogel on Twitter. I'm not bullying Jesse Nelson. I asked where Iron Mountain, Wisconsin was. Because I've never heard of it. That's what I said.
Is Iron Mountain in Michigan? No,
there is an Iron.
We all know
Mooch,
there's an Iron Mountain, Michigan.
Mooch and Izzo are from Iron Mountain, Michigan. I have never heard of Iron Mountain, Wisconsin. I asked, and then Jesse said I meant Ironwood, which was an admission that he didn't look up whether there was an Iron Mountain, Wisconsin. But I'm not bullying him. So shut up! I'm bullying you instead.
But I have gotten confirmation.
Well, I don't want people saying that I'm bullying them because I asked the question of Jesse.
Yeah.
Believe me, when I'm bullying Jesse, you'll know.
Okay.
I just asked.
Well, it looks like there is an Iron Mountain, Michigan.
So you're good. You're in the clear. But Jesse was the one who backed down.
Bullying takes place 4 to 6 of me. This is constructive feedback. I appreciate what we're doing here.
And it turns out there is an Iron Mountain, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
so it's not a big deal.
Got it right.
You just didn't need Iron Mountain.
Do you think it'd be a fun game where we do a geography minute? Jesse picks a random city, and we have to guess. You get 2 points. Yes or no? Hold up. I'm not even done talking, you big bully. Is it okay if he says, let's say he says Shatek? We can spell it, and then we could say it's either in Wisconsin, it's not, or where it's located, its nearest longitudinal, latitudinal deal. I think that could be a fun game. I think, while everyone knows I love Wisconsin geography, I think Wisconsinites love Wisconsin geography. I want to make it a staple on this show. 1 minute a day. 1 minute a day we can't do?
You don't do anything
Instead of talking about Aaron Rodgers.
You don't do anything
here's
in 1
the deal.
minute.
Instead of talking about Aaron Rodgers for an hour and 48 minutes, we talk about him for $1.46, and then we do the Wisconsin Geography Minute where Jesse picks it can be an unincorporated town. Do we get close to a big city and it's worth 2 points each day?
Unincorporated town? Do you know how hard that's going to be?
Yes, I do.
Where is Ladoga?
Kellner is one that you could put.
Yeah, of course we could. Okay. Would it be okay if we play trivia now, or?
Well, I like that you're asking nicely, and you're slowing down your little bullyish activity, so I like that. Yes. Let's play trivia.
Welcome in our contestant, John in Verona. Verona, which is close to Madison. Hi, John. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing this morning?
Do you think we should play Wisconsin geography every day on Wilde Tausch, yes or no?
Yes, I think I would enjoy that. I agree with Tausch.
Thank you, John.
Everybody's afraid to disagree with Tausch around here.
No. Poll it, and I will abide by the ruling of the poll.
Oh, you and Elon Musk, who still hasn't quit in charge of Twitter.
Well, he ended up buying Twitter, which I don't think he really wanted to do because of a poll, so yeah.
All right, let's play trivia. And Tausch is going to maybe help you, maybe not, maybe just come along for the ride, John. We're not really sure.
Armchair quarterback and John here.
Tausch will participate as he wants.
All right, here we go, John. Question
I'll take
one.
the help that I can get.
Yeah, well, but you might not get any help. That's the whole point.
So
and that's
can I
what bothers
give him help, Jesse, or not? If I think
No,
he's wrong,
so- The official rules at ESPNWisconsinContest.com. John's on his own. You can weigh in after John answers officially before we confirm correct or incorrect.
Seems reasonable.
Where in the rules does it say that Tausch can't do anything?
Well, it would be
it's up in Iron Mountain.
A competitive
The
advantage
rulebook's in
for
Iron
John
Mountain, so
if he had a teammate when other contestants this week did not. So if every contestant this week had Tausch as a teammate, then we could have an argument for it.
What you're saying is there's no explicit line on there. Yeah,
We'll
there's
talk
no
about changing the
explicit
rules
line
later.
about
But now we can't
All
change
right,
the rules.
All right, can I get to your question that you can't answer, please? Question one.
Yeah, let's go.
John, which of these northern...
Stop bullying everybody. He's probably the question.
Whoa, Nelly!
John, which of these northern Wisconsin cities is known as the snowmobile capital of the world and is also home to the world's largest chain of 28 connected lakes?
Oh, yeah. Love this spot.
Is it Eagle River, Coleman, or River Falls? Oh, wait, that's not north enough, according to one guy who emailed the show yesterday. Yes, that was Jason that emailed the show. Yeah.
I believe it's Eagle River.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well done. Question
Yes, sir.
2. UW Superior is not a member of the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, the WIAC. Which conference do the UW Superior Yellow Jackets sports teams compete in? Do they compete in the Great Northern Athletic Conference, the GNAC? Do they compete in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin, the CCIW? or do they compete in the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference, the UMAC?
It's the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference.
Tausch?
I'll go along with him. I don't know this one, but I'm going to trust John. I think John knows his UMAC.
2 for 2.
Atta baby, Johnny.
With no help
That's
from
it, Johnny.
Tausch. Question 3, John, for a clean sweep. Longitudinally, which of these Wisconsin cities is located the farthest west? Also, for the record, Iron Mountain, Wisconsin, not one of the choices here, just so you know. Your choices are Clam Lake, Rice Lake, or Turtle Lake.
I'm going to go with Turtle Lake.
Tausch?
I'm going to go Rice. I'm going to go Rice
Wait,
Lake.
can I change my mind?
No, you can't. No, you can't. You said Turtle Lake. You're stuck with Turtle Lake. Doesn't matter what Tausch said, because Tausch will be helping you. The correct answer is Turtle Lake.
Go with your first instinct.
Yeah, John, you owe me
Nice
on that
work,
one, man.
John.
You owe me.
Where's
You owe me.
Turtle Lake at? Where is Turtle Lake?
So
Apparently it's west.
It's in order. Clam Lake is furthest east, then Rice Lake, then Turtle Lake. They're all in the same general region, up near Hayward.
Up near River Falls.
Part of those 63 chain of lakes from Eagle River. Now, I know Rice Lake because that's where we like the Norski's Nook. They got that great pie both in Osseo and in Rice Lake. And Rice Lake, very close to the border. I'm bummed that I'm wrong on that one. Nice job, John.
John,
Gonna
well done. You got
overcome
4
your help.
entries into tomorrow's drawing. Well done, buddy. Thanks for playing. We appreciate you.
Sounds good. Love you guys. Have a good day.
That is trivia. The 11 o'clock hour.
We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
Starting slightly late. Begins in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Your first date? Going well. The carnival? Cash only. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you, with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So when you decide to win that giant stuffed purple raccoon at $5 a throw, we're looking out for you. No matter how many throws it takes. You've got this. With 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Attention, attention. More superheroes are needed. Current Electric is growing and hiring service and commercial electricians, solar panel installers, and customer service representatives. Current Electric offers 5-star tech experience with training, coaching, and support, along with competitive pay and benefits. Apply at currentelectricco.com/careers. That's currentelectricco.com/careers. Current Electric has been serving Milwaukee since 1983 and is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you ready for summer? Cousin Subs and Summerfest are teaming up once again for the return of the world's largest music festival with a special ticket offer. Simply place an order online at cousinsubs.com of $30 or more now through April 30th and receive a free weekday Summerfest ticket. This offer is not valid in store. One qualifying purchase per day per email will result in a free weekday ticket. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. For complete list of rules, visit cousinsubs.com/Summerfest.
It's about that time of year when we realize we took a little too much time off our golf game. Oops.
Hey!
4!
Mike, anyone who's ever golfed with you knows that swing is unfixable. But hey, we can fix windows.
Oh, and while we're at it, maybe we can build out a golf simulator in your rec room so you don't have that problem again next spring.
It's Mike and Michelle from PCI. Kitchens, baths, additions, and more. Visit PCI today. Online at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left.
begins now. Tausch, are you a fan of the NFL draft industrial complex? Like, do you get into mock drafts and who's taking a visit? Oh, they're bringing in this guy for a top 30 visit. How much do you pay attention to that, and how much of it is just noise?
It's all noise because nobody really knows. I am always interested in the early part of the draft because, A, they're college star players typically, and B, that's where so much movement happens, with the Bears, the big trade that they made. And really it comes back to what does it mean to the Green Bay Packers. I don't care if the Los Angeles Chargers have a guard from Northwestern come in for a top 30 visit. I am interested in which offensive linemen are going to be. I'm interested in how the Wisconsin players, where they're slotted, how they're looking. And Keanu Benton, by all accounts, with his Senior Bowl and what he's been able to do in his pro day, has ricocheted up the draft board. So I'm not saying I'm not disinterested because it's obviously an important piece to the success or failure of the Green Bay Packers. It's always great to see guys get their shot and see what they do with it. But as far as crunching numbers and looking at, well, this guy could go 25th, he could go 29th. Mock drafts I guess they're just dumb. I don't like them, if that's what you're asking. But
Mel
I
Kiper
understand
will
why
join
people
us
do it.
tomorrow at 9:30.
Well, Mel changes his mock, but where Mel is very good is it does lay out like we saw last year with the receiving position and all of the comps that he does, and it gives you that look. And who Green Bay has had in, that doesn't really mean a ton because people are pretty coy. And I think with the draft industrial complex, it's more coy now than it's ever been.
Well, a couple things. First of all, Mel explained when he joined us a couple of years ago, he joins us every year, and he explained, because I got after him a little bit in a friendly way. You do 8 different mock drafts from the start of the draft process to the night before the draft. And he basically said, look, it's not an NCAA tournament bracket. It's not predicting necessarily who's going where. The process is more to give you an idea who's good, who's not, where should this guy fall in general. To which I would say, but you still put it in mock draft form so people are looking at, well, who does Mel have the Packers taking? That gets a lot of eyeballs. People are fascinated by it. The draft industrial complex revs up hot. That said, there are times, and we talked about this at the time, and I wrote about it. I said, I wouldn't be surprised. I know you were on the air when they actually picked Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. But they had what was then, because of COVID, a virtual visit with him. You're only allowed those 30. And I said, and then we had sat down with Goody before the pandemic had begun, and he'd made it very clear he wasn't afraid to pick a quarterback. Remember, Rodgers' numbers in 19, even though they went to the NFC Championship game, weren't great. I told you, the fact that they're having a visit with Jordan Love tells me they're willing to take him. And the year before, they had been willing to take Drew Lock at 12. So while I still didn't think they would actually do it, it did not come out of left field. So there are some times when there are breadcrumbs for Hansel and Gretel to follow when it comes to the draft. Now, that said, do I think they're going to take Hendon Hooker at number 15? I do not. He's the quarterback from Tennessee who blew out his ACL that they had a visit with, that he came in to visit. But there's a guy
Would they take him at 42?
Would they take him at 42? Like, with a draft, here's the best part, with a draft pick acquired in a trade, just like the pick they used, I believe, on Brian Braun, because remember, they had multiple second-round picks in 2008, because one of them they used on Jordy Nelson. Would they use that as kind of viewed as a bonus pick and take a Brian Braun pick and have it be Hooker? I don't know. But I know this. If they get this trade done before the draft and they have 13 or 15, 42 or 43, and then their own pick at 45. Those are 3 premium picks that you can use to make your football team better in the short term and in the long term. And I don't love the idea of using it on another quarterback at all.
Yeah, I just think with how the scenario is played out, you can never have enough good quarterbacks. I'll preface it by saying that, but I really believe that you need to put the ball and your franchise in Jordan Love's hand for this season. You need to see how he reacts. I know that you're going to say, well, Aaron Rodgers had Brian Brohm drafted, and Todd McShay thought that it was going to be Brian Brom's team.
Yep.
That was ludicrously absurd. And then Matt Flynn, you draft guys. I wouldn't mind if they drafted a kid 5th, 6th round. Anything before the 4th round, I think, would not be smart for this year. Because if things are great, you're never going to use that player because Jordan Love will establish himself, and you're going to have to pay him monster deal. And why I was shocked by the Jordan Love pick at that time wasn't because of Jordan Love. Didn't know anything about Jordan Love. It was because you just gave Aaron Rodgers an extension.
Correct.
He was just getting started on it. And the key to this whole thing now, and you're seeing more and more of these teams utilizing that rookie deal to really upgrade the rest of your roster to help your quarterback so that when you have to pay your quarterback, he's in a position to be able to carry more of the load. That's the formula of today's NFL. They've missed the boat on the Jordan Love component till this year. So if you're going to utilize a 1st or 2nd round pick and not bring in a wideout or a tight end or a tackle or someone to help make Jordan Love's job easier, you're not really ever turning the keys over to Jordan Love. You're giving him a loaner vehicle.
Yeah.
Or you're giving him a car with a spare tire that you can run for 50 miles. You have to take it back into the shop. This draft will tell you a lot about how they feel about Jordan Love. Do they feel like we're going to run this thing, and you know what? We might run out of gas, but we're going to we're going to gun it, and we're going to see. And if we do, hey, there's a gas station up the road. We'll go get some more gas. But if they don't, you're screwed. So that's where I just think this is not the year to be messing with a early quarterback. Don't care if it's Will Levis falling, if it's Hooker that falls. I am not in the quarterback game until at least the 4th round for this year if I'm the Green Bay Packers.
So what are the Packers' biggest needs? Jordan Reed and Matt Miller broke them down. I tend to agree with what they see as the Packers' biggest needs. We'll address those next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
I'm Ben Jewick with Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors. 2023 is our 135th year in business, making it the perfect time for our crew to help you create a workspace that will help you attract, retain, and grow your business. The office is the cultural hub of the organization. We can help with interior design, construction, new furniture, and move management. Like Milwaukee's baseball team, our crew excels at home and on the road. If your company has a national facilities footprint, we can hit for you in any ballpark. Championship organizations are built on teamwork and collaboration. Visit brothersinteriors.com to see how we can help your team win.
It's our lowest prices of the season at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop unbeatable deals on the things you need for spring. Like $6 off 40-pound bags of Blaine's brand cat food. Sta-Bil gasoline stabilizer is only $11.49 a quart. And your choice of Fast Orange hand cleaner with pumice or Scrubs premium cleaning towels just $11.99. Rewards members save an extra buck. Don't miss our lowest prices of the season in-store or online at farmandfleet.com. And shop our new store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely gonna need a cold one. Ah, there's the one. When it comes to Potosi Brewing Company, I love that they're local and always giving back. This week, Wonder, one of their sales ambassadors, is going to tell us about some new beers and their cool initiatives.
We are releasing 2 new beers. That is a hazy IPA, and it's called Hazy Bluffs for the bluffs of the Mississippi River. And we're also releasing a NA beer. But what's great about Potosi is all profits go to charity. We donated over $11,000 to a children's hospital in Iowa because we're so close to Iowa, and we just donated to a children's camp. So when you do drink Potosi, you are giving back to the community.
Thanks to Wonder from Potosi Brewing Company for giving us insight on all the great things Potosi is up to. And remember, folks, the fridge is always stocked.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. The professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, you need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Don't wait. 414-285-3474.
A wide array of opportunities abound at Waste Management.
I was a banker for 20 years, and I knew absolutely nothing about waste. Now I'm an account manager, which happens to be my 7th position within the corporation. Because Waste Management invests so much time into your career, they want you to succeed. They want you to learn and inspire to be something greater.
Join the Waste Management family. Just search online, Waste Management Careers.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Tight end or a running back, or maybe another wide receiver who's young. The Packers have the 15th pick as of right now, barring a pick swap with the New York Jets.
I'm seeing the swap get a lot of traction on Twitter.
You're a man ahead of your time.
The Packer media mafia has kind of embraced the pick swap part of this deal.
Who constitutes the Packers media mafia?
PMM.
I'm not gonna throw a bunch of names out. Everybody knows who they are. The Packer media mafia.
Okay,
which
fair
you're
enough.
associated with.
Sure. The pick swap has not occurred. The trade has not occurred. So as of right now, Packers hold the 15th pick, the 45th pick, and the 78th pick. Okay. Those are the three picks they have in the first 2 days of the NFL draft.
Yep.
Tausch, if are you going on record right now saying the trade is happening? Is that what you just did?
Yeah. It's there's both sides have no choice.
Despite the Jets reneging on their agreement.
Yeah, faces don't need to be spited. We don't need to
nose
rip
cutting.
people's noses off. Let's stop with the nose cutting. Put the saws away, and let's just get this.
Sawzall? Sawzall. Should have been on the list of power ranking power tools for a couple weeks ago.
I believe that there's going to be an O-lineman that it's going to be tough to pass on. I always want Green Bay looking up front, because when you look at last year, Philadelphia, their O-line is the reason. Obviously, Jalen Hurts was good, but they were very good up front. It is always going to be a huge catalyst, especially with a young quarterback, to have big bodies. Goody subscribes to that theory. Now, do you think you can get somebody that you could play at the second and third day? Yeah, there's been plenty of people that have been able to do that. But if one of those, that's Skoronski, you got the cat from Tennessee, I think Georgia and Ohio State. You got those 4 offensive tackles that I think are ranked pretty high. One of those guys will be there. But it just feels like this is the year that we've heard from years and years. And Aaron Rodgers on McAfee 3 or 4 years ago, this is the time. Get one of these wideouts. I love Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk. Jordan Love, what are you doing here? Okay. You feel like Goody, and it's not going to be out of spite. Don't be shocked if Goody, just to rub a little extra, doesn't go ahead and grab a skilled player, whether it's a tight end or a wide receiver, to help Jordan Love's progression. The fascinating part to me, and I'm hearing a lot of this guy climbing draft boards, even though I'm not part of the draft industrial complex.
Sounds like you might be.
Robinson, the cat from Texas, this running back, is supposedly all-world.
He's very good.
What does Green Bay do if he is available at 15 or 13 in a pick swap scenario? I don't care if this guy's the next Jim Brown. I still don't think I'd do it. But if you think he is a transcendent talent, you have 5 years to use him up and spit him out, I don't know if that's a bad pick. I think getting a weapon on offense, because if anything we learned from last year, the defense needs pass rushers. We know that. But what did we come back to? Who are the final 8 teams left standing on the best weekend of the year in football for me, divisional round playoffs? What did those teams have in common? Was it a dominant defense?
No.
It's an offense. That's what it is. So, need to improve the offense.
Pretty good quarterback.
So we've now discussed multiple positions: offensive line, running back, and wide receiver. Jesse, do you have any power rankings music that you have set aside for moments like this?
We've been working our way towards soon to launch our video stream, but I have put in a little extra time, Jason, to come up with some special music that we can use for a situation just like this.
ESPN.com has 5 positions of need for the Green Bay Packers. Tausch, I can tell you that offensive line and running back, which we just discussed, are not on the list. I can tell you wide receiver is, so you've got 1. What are the other 4 that you think ESPN has? Maybe they match up with what you think are needs. Maybe they don't. But there are 4 others besides wide receiver that ESPN has listed as the Packers' top needs.
Yeah, I think safety has to be there on that
Ding!
list.
That's 2.
Tight end has to be on that list.
Ding! That's 3.
Offensive line has to be on that list.
I just told you it wasn't on the list.
No, it has to be.
But it's not.
Well, it should be.
Well, should be is different than has to be. It's not.
Pass rusher. Got to have a pass rusher.
Edge. Ding! That's 4 out of the 5. This one's controversial.
I'm
I don't
I'm gonna go
see it.
kicker.
I'd give it to him.
I'm going to go kicker.
No. Defensive tackle. I don't get that one. You've got Kenny Clark. You used a first-round pick on a defensive tackle a year ago, And oh, by the way, the only other good defensive lineman you still have on the roster after letting Jaron Reed depart, after letting Dean Lowry depart, is TJ Slayton, who's also a tackle. I don't think defensive tackle is a need for them. So I was a little surprised to see that on the list. I would say offensive line should be on the list instead.
You can never have enough wiggle and jiggle up front. We all know that.
Big wiggle jiggle guy.
As far as just get good football players in the door. That's the key part to having successful drafts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice when you can match that up. And I really think one of the things we've noticed over the last decade is where Nick Collins was such a playmaker, we have not had anyone close to his impact.
Yeah, almost been 15 years.
When that's the case, it's tough in today's NFL. You need to have people that can create turnovers. Charles Woodson, Leroy Butler. That's kind of the part that you're really going to be curious about.
I will be fascinated to see where the board stands at 13 if there is a pick swap, or at 15 if there isn't. Look, David Bakhtiari is literally on his last legs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Elton Jenkins can certainly slide over to left tackle if that's what they choose to do. Josh Nijman could potentially play left tackle if that's what they choose to do, but he will be an unrestricted free agent after this season. Josh Myers has not appeared to be in the lineage of really good centers. He's kind of just a guy. Fair?
So far, yeah. I think, there's a lot of critique because I believe the Kansas City Chiefs got their center 2 picks after Josh Myers, and he has been
Creed Humphrey.
It's always funky, though. He's left-handed. That always throws me off, a left-handed snapper. But he has been better. I think we just think, just plug and play. He's an Ohio State guy. Corey Linsley was great. Blah, blah, blah. And getting up on that second level, the run game, while it hasn't been as consistent, I think getting up on the linebacker level, that's something that I think Green Bay could get a lot better at doing consistently in their run game.
And you like John Runyon slightly more than I do.
I think he's been a steady, solid player, yeah. Listen, you can't pay and have 5 All-Pros everywhere. You can't. So get us some steady Eddie, good players. You have 2 offensive linemen you're paying top dollar to. You can't pay all 5.
I understand. He's a 6th-round draft pick. If his name was John Smith instead of John Runyon, I think we'd have a slightly lesser opinion of him. That's all. I mean, he's better than Royce Newman, who was a 4th-round pick. But they have made some offensive line investments here that Sean Ryan, who was suspended for the last 6 games as a 3rd-round pick out of UCLA, certainly we can't write him off. But the fact that Zach Tom, who was taken 2 rounds later, beat him out and was getting opportunities that you would have thought the 3rd-round pick guy would have gotten, interesting. Now, if Zach Tom is great, it doesn't matter that Sean Ryan's not, because you got a good guy regardless. Royce Newman doesn't appear to be an answer either, does he? I'm just saying their offensive line, to your point, is potentially in some major flux, and you're not just drafting for this year. If Bakhtiari's playing his last year, if someone decides to pay Josh Nijman, you don't really love your center, and some of your offensive line picks are middling or worse, you could go offensive line at 15, and it'll be completely reasonable to do so. That's all I'm trying to say. If you do pick an offensive lineman, and he's healthy, and it's only the women that have to be of non-childbearing years. He could actually put a little extra cash in his pocket while he's waiting for his signing bonus by calling our friends at LabCorp.
Everybody is looking for a little extra cash in this economy, right? Am I right?
Oh,
and if you're looking to earn some extra money, go on vacation, renovate your home, whatever it might be, LabCorp has a variety of open trials. that will fit your schedule. And right now, healthy adults ages 18 to 60 with a BMI, which is a body mass index, between 18 and 32. Your study involves one stay of 8 nights plus 7 follow-up visits, and you can get, this is not a typo, $10,328. $10,000 for a week's worth of work?
That's more than you get as an undrafted free agent and signing bonus.
That ain't no joke. And also another study, if that wouldn't fit, healthy overweight males and females ages 18 to 55. Females must be of non-childbearing potential. With a body mass index, this is for the big boys and girls, 30 to 39.9 body mass index. That study is only 6 nights with 2 follow-ups, and you grab yourself a quick 3,700 bones on the way out the door. Again, that's LabCorp, clinicaltrials.com, LabCorp, clinicaltrials.com.
Whoa, Nelly, live from Iron Mountain, Wisconsin, is next. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula on Advent's one-stop shop office-based procedures approach to solving breathing triangle problems.
A lot of folks are like, I don't want to go to surgery. You know, isn't there something else we can do? And at Advent, there is something else we can do. We have a whole host of office-based options where you don't have to go to surgery. We can do it under local anesthesia. Get these things taken care of. How does that sound? And don't be surprised when you hear that a lot of people go for those options. When given the choice between surgery and office procedures, almost everybody that we talk to and give them the choice, they choose the office. That's not surprising. That's just understanding your patients and offering them the options that they would choose. So I think at Advent, when you put all that together, we are a one-stop shop for these issues.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
It's Jeff Levering for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Elevate your next dining experience at the Bridgewater Modern Grill, featuring a seasonally driven kitchen inspired by a custom oak-fed grill. You can expect to enjoy a menu filled with wood-fired flavors and classic comforts. With the longest riverfront patio in the city, add the Bridgewater to the top of your list for your weekday lunch, weekend brunch, or dinner out with friends. Visit the Bridgewater Modern Grill at 2011 South 1st Street in Milwaukee's Harbor District or BridgewaterMKE.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Kessler's is America's largest employee-owned diamond store.
It's the diamond store where the owners think like you do.
As shoppers, we want better prices and more choices.
That's why we give you better prices and more choices.
We don't try to choose for you. We let you choose.
You can choose a diamond from a diamond mine.
A diamond as old as the earth itself.
You can choose a created diamond from a plasma chamber.
A diamond as new and fresh and sparkling as springtime.
And now you can choose a flickering firelight diamond.
Flickering firelight diamonds sparkle with a rich and regal golden glow.
At Kessler's, you choose from 3 different kinds of diamonds.
3 different kinds of diamonds.
Earth diamonds from diamond mines,
Created diamonds from plasma chambers.
and flickering firelight diamonds with a rich, regal golden glow.
We like to have choices, so we give you choices.
Kessler's is the diamond store where the owners think like you do.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
We have an interesting place that we'll be beginning Whoa Nelly at. Oh, the irony. Time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde Tausch.
Guys, we've made it.
No, we made it long before now.
Now we made it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Moments ago on the Pat McAfee Show. Everywhere the Pat McAfee Show can be found.
Charles Robinson is now reporting, and he did this on Wilde Tausch.
Yeah, Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch, which is a sports show.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Green Bay or if it's Milwaukee, but Tausch used to play tackle for the Packers, so it's a Packers radio show.
Charles Robinson, who's an insider for Yahoo Sports and is Yahoo Sports, said on that one that basically there was already a deal made.
Wad and Tausch.
We did it! Big time!
What's better, Tosh or Tausch? What did Sarah Spain say?
Touch.
Is it touch? It's Wilde
Touch.
and touch, isn't it?
I gotta admit, I like Wad and Tosh better. I do.
Wad and Tosh?
I think maybe we should change. We should maybe change our name to Wad and Tosh. I don't think that's a bad idea.
You're not the one who's Wad. I mean, I don't think that's a particularly flattering name to go by. I'd rather go by Jaybird.
We can go Jaybird and Tosh.
Wad
Tosh. Tosh.
Tosh. Tosh. Dot, 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 dot. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that, Jesse. It's
I
don't have anything.
McAfee Show. That's it.
Yeah, I don't really.
We're famous now.
I don't need that validation, but it was nice of Ty Schmidt to correct him.
Not really. He didn't even correct him right.
He did. He actually did.
Shows in Green Bay.
Wait a minute, Jesse,
It's a
can you play
Packers
it again?
Show. This ain't no Packers show. This is an Aaron Rodgers and
We're talking Bucks next week. Yeah.
He does say your name correctly briefly, and I don't. Is it their thing or the way they?
Charles Robinson is now reporting, and he did this on Wilde Tausch.
Yeah, Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch, which is a...
Now, is that just their dialect that because they like to say "shot at" stuff like that? I think Ty is a big Packers fan. I think he knows it's Tausch, but that's the way they talk on that show.
I don't know about that, Jim.
Wilde Tausch.
Yeah, it's a. But the better part is when he says it's a sports show. Well, I mean,
that's good.
Sometimes. Where's Iron Mountain, Wisconsin? Sports show.
Live from Iron Mountain, Wisconsin. It's Wad and Tosh.
Whoa, Nelly!
It's amazing. Last night, the Chicago Bulls and the Toronto Raptors played in a Eastern Conference play-in tournament game. The Bulls won in part because the Raptors really sucked at the free throw line. They shot a season-low 50%, 18 for 36 at the line, and all the credit is going to Bulls star DeMar DeRozan's daughter, DR DeRozan, who let out a piercing scream every time the Raptors were about to shoot those 36 free throws. My question for you is, if you were within a 2-seat radius of DR DeRozan, would you have asked for her to stop screaming?
Do I know she's DeMar DeRozan's daughter when I ask?
Well, how does that impact your answer, Mr. Wilde?
First of all, I don't think I would ask her either way because I don't really feel like that's my place. But knowing that she's DeMar DeRozan's daughter, I'm definitely not asking her to stop.
She's also, just so we're all on the same page, she's like 5 or 6 years old, it would appear. She is young.
Yeah. No.
Are you asking someone who's a parent or guardian for her to stop?
I'm asking Tosh to tell her to be quiet.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's definitely annoying, but it's on Toronto's home court. You've seen what people do. They count down fake numbers with shot clocks, and with Giannis, they try to speed him up. It's the price of doing business, man. You're shooting free throws. You're an NBA player. Make your free throws. It is annoying. I don't like it. But if I'm a Bulls fan, yeah, I'm on board. It's legal. It helped you win. Good on them.
Wilde Tausch.
Yeah.
It's going to be our transition today. The Milwaukee Brewers dropped 2 of 3 against the Diamondbacks. They're now in San Diego playing the Padres tonight. My question for you, I think the West Coast road trips are always the most fun. I feel like there's unique ballparks out there, watching the game on TV, or even going to see them in person. Which West Coast team do you get most excited to see the Brewers play? I think for me it might be the Padres. I love when they play in San Diego, and I'd love to go to a game out there sometime. Is there a team that stands out to you on the West Coast that you like seeing the Brewers play?
Yeah, I would say the Dodgers. I just like the history of Dodger Stadium. You got Dodger dogs. The Dodgers are really good. You get a good measuring stick as far as where you're at as a baseball team. You got that. Remember that old weird dude? He'd point his radar gun. He'd stand behind home plate and he was pointing the radar gun. You had Grace. What's the gal's name that was on Inside Edition? She used to always sit there with Larry King behind home plate. You know what I'm talking about?
How many Dodgers games do you watch? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Mary something.
Mary Hart?
I loved Oral Hershiser and Fernando
Mary Hart.
Valenzuela, Tommy Lasorda.
Steve Garvey.
Like those old Dodgers teams, that was
Ron
good
Say.
stuff. Yeah, so things haven't changed. The Dodgers are on postseason baseball all
Pedro
the time.
Guerrero.
So they had this dude. He looked like, he had like a nice brimmed hat, and he had the radar gun. He's sitting behind home plate, and he's like taking the measurements of the pitcher's speed and everything else. Dodger Stadium is a legendary place. That's where I'd want to go, and that's where I would probably want to watch the Brewers play.
Chavez Ravine. I would pick San Diego, having been a Tony Gwynn fan, R.I.P. I always liked the Padres. I always wanted to see them succeed. Not obviously rooting for them tonight. I don't care. But San Diego, great place, great city, great place to visit. If I'm going on a road trip out west, I want to go. It's a 4-game set, too, isn't it, Jesse?
It is, yeah. 4 this weekend in San Diego. We can fly out there, get there Saturday.
Yeah.
Little matinee.
Has Stacy Bruner given us airline tickets and tickets to the game like he gave you tickets to the game at AmFam Field, or no?
Wilde Tausch.
Yeah.
Last one. Today is National Scrabble Day. I will assert that I don't think Scrabble is a top 10 board game. Would you like to join my club?
Yeah, it's not a board game, though. It's now turned digital. That's a digital game. it's not as important as chess or checkers or backgammon or Parcheesi. It's just not needed. A board isn't needed to play Scrabble. Matter of fact, I would say it is easier to play this online where you don't have to get the tiles and you don't have to dig in a bag and you don't have to do all that stuff. And it doesn't really matter. You have to look over a guy's shoulder. Scrabble is meant for the digital age. Checkers and chess are not. They're meant to be, I'm staring you across the brow. I'm studying your eyes where you're thinking. Same thing with backgammon. This is not meant to be a board game. This was meant to be a digital game.
All right. I would just like to publicly thank Michael Klink, the Klinkster up in Winnipeg. We have all these producers, right? I mean, Josh DiMaggio's chiming in. He's got little DeMar DeRozan information. No one's looking up the guy with the radar gun at Chavez Ravine except our Canadian correspondent. He sent me a Bill Plaschke column from the LA Times. Mike Brito is your Panama hat-wearing, cigar-smoking, radar gun-holding guy that I had no idea existed. So thank you for your service.
Tell me something more interesting if you're watching a game on TV than Michael Brito.
I would just say this. When it comes to a Dodgers game,
with
if you
Mary Hart and Larry King sitting there?
All right. Is Larry King still with us?
I think he may have gone, but I'm not going to rip him.
So he's not watching the games if he did.
I don't know.
Also,
I don't know if he's still
I'm
around.
not sure if it's Mary Hart or not. We kind of just decided it was Mary Hart. Thirdly, if you have not seen, I know you're always looking for things to watch on Netflix. There is a documentary.
Don't tell me about Succession.
No.
I'm still not ready.
Larry King no longer with us, by the way. Passed away in 2021.
R.I.P.
I don't think Succession's on Netflix. Isn't it on HBO?
Yeah, not on Netflix.
I've never watched
Just don't tell me about it.
Could you stop? I'm trying to give you a recommendation. There is, speaking of HBO, there is a documentary on Netflix about a guy who is accused of murder. And it turns out the alibi for him, and he was going to probably lose his case. And they were filming, what's the show with Larry David? Curb Your Enthusiasm? They happened to be filming at Dodger Stadium the night that this guy was at the game. And so there's actual, and Larry David happened to walk up the aisle of the section that this guy was sitting in. And so he's on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it gets him out of being wrongfully convicted of murder. It's an unbelievable documentary. You have to watch it.
Jeez.
That's it for Won't Nelly. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
This Bucks team is something special. There's unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime freakish talent like you've never seen before. The blocks, the dunks, the next-level energy, and a hungry core that's running the court, dropping shots, and posting stat after stat after stat. All this action will have you on your feet cheering Fear the Deer. The playoffs presented by BMO are here. Get your single game tickets now at bucks.com/playoffs.
Just because the buzzer hits doesn't mean the game ends. Highlights.
Holiday back to Giannis, and Giannis will staple it through with a two-hand jam.
Reaction.
Bucks have been very good. So we're talking about 3 months now that the Bucks have been the best team in the league, and the Bucks and the Sixers have been the 2 best teams by a wide margin.
Your thoughts.
Take care of the glass. We need to do that, and we did it in the fourth quarter.
Nobody knows the Bucks like Justin Garcia. Catch Bucks Talk after every game right here on 94.5 ESPN.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6 to 8 count Mega Rolls Angel Soft Bath Tissue, $6.99. 5 to 8 count box or 20 count mini selected varieties Nestle Drumstick Sundae Cones, $7.49. 5.3 ounce cup yogurt or 7 ounce bottle smoothie selected varieties Dan & Light and Fit Zero Sugar or Too Good Greek yogurt or smoothie, 4 for $5. 20 ounce package selected varieties Butoni family size pasta, $5.99.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take the mound at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
The regular season is now over for the Bucks after an 0-2 weekend to close things out. First, a home loss to the Grizzlies on Friday night, 137-114, and a 121-105 loss in Toronto on Sunday. However, the Bucks regulars not appearing in either of the final two games. And now, as Coach Bud knows, it's time to focus on the playoffs.
To have, I think us improve in a lot of areas. Our defense is something that we hang our hat on, and individually, a lot of guys, played well, collectively played well, and now it's, time to get ready for the postseason.
The Bucks will open their playoff run on Sunday against the 8th seed in the East, which will be determined by this week's play-in game.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
It's our lowest prices of the season at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop unbeatable deals on the things you need for spring. Like $6 off 40-pound bags of Blaine's brand cat food. Sta-Bil gasoline stabilizer is only $11.49 a quart. And your choice of Fast Orange hand cleaner with pumice or Scrubs premium cleaning towels just $11.99. Rewards members save an extra buck. Don't miss our lowest prices of the season in-store or online at farmandfleet.com. And shop our new store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Got the magic in me. Every time I
Wilde Tausch?
Yeah, Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch, which is a sports show.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Green Bay or if it's Milwaukee, but Tausch used to play tackle for the Packers, so it's a Packers radio.
Which is a sports show. Thanks to Ty Schmidt and Pat McAfee. Jesse, that does not mean we've arrived. That's not what we base our success on. We base it on other people taking video of the show and posting it, getting lots of likes, which we thank them because they linked to the YouTube section of this program, and people all watched it. So thank you to Wendell, was it? Was it Wendell?
Yeah, Wendell.
So thank you for that. I don't care about likes. I care about people
Big
watching.
Big news in the NFL. Big news. $6 billion news in the NFL.
Tim Boyle,
my boy
the new
Dove
backup
Kleiman.
quarterback.
My boy Dove Kleiman reports.
Mystery
I don't know
man.
who he took the report from. The Washington football team has sold for $6 billion to Magic Johnson and Josh Harris. There you go.
Congratulations, Commanders, and congratulations to the NFL getting that weasel owner out of the league, Daniel Snyder. That's it for us today.
Yeah, you showed him. You showed him. He got a $6 billion return on his investment. That's pretty good.
That's it for us today on Wad and Tosh. We'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Take care. Be good.
Wilde Tausch?
Yeah.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by WM, the leading provider of comprehensive waste management services in North America. Learn about career opportunities in Wisconsin by visiting careers.wm.com.
The Brewers dropped the rubber match of their series with the Diamondbacks, falling 7-3 in the series finale. Rookie Jansen Junk gave up 5 runs, including a 3-run home run and a spot start, filling in for Brandon Woodruff, who was placed on the 15-day injured list with a shoulder injury. Junk on his first start in a Milwaukee uniform.
Short notice, coming out here, flying out here, I just wanted to attack him, working that fastball up, in, and then sliders away, and using my splitter. Could have got the fastballs a little bit more in. Overall, I thought execution-wise, it was okay today.